And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's having a good week. I know the Florida weather down here has been outstanding. 80 degrees, 58 at night. It doesn't get any better than this. This is winter in Florida. I'm loving it.
Winter in California is like that too, at least in southern.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The doctor, this is the first time I've seen Bleahy's face. Yeah, you get to see his face tonight. Yep, he has all those posts and feedback in the Discord channel. Now we get to see him and hear about him too. What's going on, Zombie? We've been getting some heavy rain in Texas.
Weather report.
Heavy rain in
Discord.
Texas. Oof. Pass on that. No rain, please.
I like rain. I could live in Oregon. I actually know that I can live with lots of rain. It's not just a theory.
Well, you guys ready to do a podcast? I think we're all good. Everybody sounds good. So let's do this. Okay. Oh. Looks pretty warm in the southeast. Looks like Zombie's enjoying that weather too. Nice. I love it. All right, here we go.
This was the high. I need to find the one that's current. That'll be more applicable.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's harder to find. This was for the highs for the day, but
true. Oh, okay. It's not bad. Very cool. Very cool. All right, here we go. Let's do a podcast. 3, 2. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 331 of Guardian Downcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. For those of you who may have just discovered our podcast, we are a weekly gaming show with an emphasis on the Destiny franchise, but we like to sprinkle in some entertainment and other topics of discussion relating to our hobbies as well from time to time. We also have our roundtable episodes, typically every month, for a more diverse conversation. For those of you listening right now on the podcast platforms out there and want to check out our live shows, just go to Todd the Gator. That's TODDTHEGATR on YouTube and Twitch. And now our Discord community, where we have our live stage, where we also are live and listen and hear from our chat in there as well. So if you ever want to visit a live show, we typically go Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you guys will stop by and check us out. And thank you to everyone who's in the chat tonight. We have a lot to talk about tonight, that's for sure. But first, I have my co-host from the great state of Utah, Mr. Kingsley Mack, with us tonight. Kingsley, how you doing, sir?
Hello. Glad to be here yet once again.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. This week, we have a new guest on with us today. He's been very active in our community since he joined us a little over 4 months ago. He's had some great feedback from our previous shows, and I got to tell you, man, this is the one thing I love about our Discord community. We have people from Australia, North Carolina, Washington State. I mean, wherever. The UK, we have a ton of people from the UK. We have people in France and Denmark. I mean, you name it. We have people that enjoy our Destiny sanctuary, I guess you could say. And we have a new guest tonight who has been a new part of our community. And he is, as you can probably see on the screen, he's older than me, which is a rarity because I'm always the oldest guy in the show, which I'm very pleased to hear because I heard a little bit about our guest, and I had to know more about this guy. So please welcome to our show tonight, Bleahy. How you doing, sir?
Good. Nice to be here.
Thank you. We appreciate you, man. We're looking forward to hearing more about you tonight. That's for sure. Well, in today's show, we'll of course hear more about Bleahy. I'm going to put him through the paces in our fast fire question and answer segment we call, the speed run. Next, we're going to go over the latest Bungie blog and Dev Insight article concerning the new changes they're making to the exotic armor pieces for Renegades. And we also have a topic of the week. Typically, we ask our guest if they have anything they want to talk about, and Mr. Bleahy here has a topic he wanted to discuss tonight, so we'll have that next. And then finally, if we have any questions from our community, we're going to answer those as well. And if we have a little bit of time left over, we have one article we're going to go over also if time allows. So as you can see, it's another jam-packed night. So if everyone's ready, Let's roll. Well, before we get into the interview tonight, I wanted to just go around the horn and just see what everybody's been doing this week, you know? Bleahy, did you want to start? Did you want to tell us what you've been up to this week, what you've been playing?
Sure. I've been playing Destiny, and I've been volunteering at the computer club on Hilton Head, which included teaching a class. And I also did what's called a Romeo. You know what a Romeo is?
I don't.
That's retired old men eating out. That's where you get
I love it.
to a certain age, you go out with your friends and have lunch.
I love it.
Watch the new Ken Burns documentary, or some of it.
Yes, that was the Revolution. Excellent. Yes, the Revolution. It's very good so far.
Terrific show, terrific. And I also, this morning, I led a Qigong class. I do Qigong, which is like an older version of Tai Chi. And of all the things in my life, I'm surprised by the fact that I would ever lead a class, and it's probably the most amazing.
That is fantastic. Outstanding. Well, I tell you what, I hope I'm as active as you are when I get to be your age, because so many people today, when they retire, they just go home and watch TV, and they're done. They check out, and I love seeing it. I love seeing people that continually just, they're like a sponge, and that's kind of what I'm going through right now. You're like a sponge, and you just want to learn about everything, and you just always want to keep active, and keep busy and stuff. And as I did a pre-interview with you last night, we're definitely going to be in for a surprise tonight, as far as what you do, and that's going to be really cool. Well, thank you, sir. Welcome, and we're glad to have you on tonight. Kingsley, I'll go to you next, man. What have you been doing this week?
Yeah, I like, Bleahy, how you mentioned, what was that version name of the Tai Chi? What was its name again?
Qigong.
Yep. Qigong. Because, believe it or not, I've been starting some Tai Chi recently. And it's really been vibing with me. Just YouTube videos so far. I haven't found a class, or there's not a lot around that I found. I would have to drive a bit further. But boy, you can still get a lot of, at least the basics, with YouTube. And the thing about Tai Chi is it's really vibing with me. And you got to find something that vibes, whether it's meant to be fuller exercise, or I'm just kind of doing it for joint movement health right now. To me, I'm getting some of the benefits of like what yoga would provide, but yoga I've never really liked. But this Tai Chi, so far, it's really vibing with me. So I'm hopefully I can keep it going, but I think so far I will, of all the things I've tried. So it was just funny you mentioned that. That's one of the things I've been doing, but would never think to bring it up on the show. But thank you for bringing that up.
Hey, can I just mention something? I did a new stretch this morning. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Touching my toes. Everything did well. Didn't pull anything. I didn't. Nothing popped. Good. That's good. I mean, I could go to work. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead and continue. Sorry.
No. Well, yeah. I joke, but it could happen to any of us. Like if you overdo it, of course, So like, I'm not going to be the type of person, luckily, to overdo things, but some people could.
No, I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be included in the Qigong and Tai Chi gang. That's all. Sorry.
Well, you're included. In fact, maybe we'll have to do a group class, the three of us. Who wants to lead it up?
Oh God. Oh man.
Hey, joint health movement, everything like that. I mean, why not, right?
Never know.
But other than that, just chilling. Work is great as always. I love my job, and gaming. I did finish Outer Worlds 2.
Oh,
very, very fun ending, and boy, a lot that they build into the game that you kind of, once you start down certain paths, you really get to a point by design towards the end where whatever choices you make, it kind of actually excludes, not a lot, but maybe 10 to 20% of this one area and this part of the game. And so I really do now need to start another playthrough, make different choices, get to this other space station that I didn't side with. So I couldn't even go there anymore because they didn't even allow me to land anymore. So I'll have to play through again to enjoy that. And then, of course, Destiny. I always love raids, and We had some good experiences this week. I'm um, watching a group play a Wednesday night raid. Last night was fun, and then of course, our raids we're really good at now, right? We can,
Yeah.
because we kind of had like different people grouped up, but when we finally did a final encounter, we're at the point now where we can what first try, second try, worst
Pretty
case
much.
scenario,
I love it.
so however long that takes.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you had Kabam playing with you from Australia this week. I couldn't make it this
Oh
week, and
yes, that's right.
I jumped in
Forgot who it
on
was. Yeah.
I jumped in on Monday night to help you guys get the last boss encounter. I think that's all you guys had left. Kabam had to work, but no, we should be back in the saddle next Saturday, I think. So should be good to go there. So
Yeah.
wait a minute. I'm just curious.
I love raiding.
While I have you here, what did you think of Strange New Worlds? No, I'm sorry, Strange New Worlds. The game you said you just finished. Sorry. Why am I thinking Star Trek? I don't know why I went to Star Trek.
Outer Worlds?
Yeah, how did you like Outer Worlds? I mean, what would you give it?
Oh, I like I've been saying all along. I mean, yeah, I'm finishing it. It didn't go down at all. I mean, I don't know. Ratings, I don't always care about giving an exact number, but I would give it an 8.5 or a 9 if I had to just very quickly give it a number. Because I was interested the whole time. There was enough. Things didn't seem too repetitive. Even when I got to a point towards the end where some of the enemies, like I've seen that enemy type before, it didn't really matter because I had new abilities and new NPC abilities that made the encounters more interesting. So, yeah, it's, I mean, I put probably 80 to 100 hours into the game.
Okay. I was curious if it was a 100-hour game. Okay. Very nice, man.
Well, again, even more because you can play it over with different experiences and stuff like that.
So it's like multiple,
it's not like Baldur's Gate level, but it's pretty darn good.
So it has multiple endings, is what you're saying. Okay. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Well, and things that you could lock yourself out of, but also just so many different builds that could be frustrating to certain people. Like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that, but you don't want to like put your points across too many things. Even though I generally like to be a jack of all trades, luckily I think I realized, or I saw some videos that don't do that in this game.
Right.
Because I quickly realized too, well, I like hacking skills and stealing skills and engineering skills. And so I was just kind of focusing on those three things mainly. But then, there was a couple other things I wasn't able to do. But the game is brilliant because you're never really going to get to a spot where like you can't progress because you didn't spec your tree quickly. You just have to do things slightly different. So if you didn't have a hacking skill to get through a certain door or chest or something that you have to do that's part of the story, well, no worries. Instead, you have to find the key card that someone has somewhere else. But if you have a hacking skill, then you don't have to do that. You can go directly to open the door. So those are the brilliant type of things where you really have choice with what you're doing.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention for this week?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Turn it over to you.
Well, first I have to start with a movie. I got 2 new movie reviews tonight. Shh. Movie review. My first movie I want to talk about tonight is a movie we actually saw last night, and it is oh man, this was an intense movie. I saw the latest movie, Nuremberg. It had an all-star cast. It had Russell Crowe, Rami Malek, Colin Hanks, Michael Shannon, John Slattery. I mean, it's about the famous trial after the death of Hitler when the war finally came to an end. When all they had were these high-ranking officials that were put on trial for the murder of thousands of Jews in World War II, and a lot of people just wanted to shoot them and just be done with them, but they wanted to learn more about how this evil became about. And I gotta admit, I didn't think this would be that great a movie, and it was a very good cat and mouse type situation between Rami Malek and Michael Shannon, who was the prosecutor at the time in that trial, and of course Russell Crowe. He stole the show. I mean, I swear this is the best I've seen Russell Crowe ever. I think he really melted into the role. And we really thought that he was this high-level official, and Goering, and it just of course showed a lot of the film of the events of all the all the Jews that had died and stuff. But the writing and the plot of the movie was really good. I got to give this one 4 stars. It was a very good film. This film reminds me of that one I put like at the top of my list a couple of years ago. It was an independent film, and I don't even remember the name of the movie, but it was actually about the life in Germany as the concentration camps were going on, and how the Germans were choking on the ashes and getting sick from all the ashes in the atmosphere from these concentration camps. But very, very powerful. I mean, walked out of there kind of stunned. It was a very good movie. It's not one you have to go to the big screen. You can definitely see it on just at home and wherever. It's not a real high, there's not a lot of CGI and stuff. It's more, it's more informational, more of a drama. The second movie I saw, though, was last Friday, and that was Running Man, starring Glenn Powell, Michael Cera, Coleman Domingo, and Josh Brolin. I did see the original Running Man, by the way, from 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And back then, it was considered one of the best special effects movies when I saw it back then. Flash forward to today's remake, and Glenn Powell, he plays the down-and-out unemployed guy who is in this dystopian future where everything is highly regulated, and the chasm between the rich and the poor is just, of course, gaping. And desperate to acquire medicine for a sick child he joins this biggest reality game called The Running Man, where he has to survive for 30 days, where everyone has a right to shoot and kill him, or stab him, or however way they want to kill him, or grenade, however way you want to try to do it. And they can claim money and prizes if they actually catch him and take a picture of him. They get prizes too. And of course, he gets prizes the longer he stays alive. Well, it turns out that the game is kind of rigged against him. But if that's not elite, and if that's not enough, there's these elite hunters that also partake in the contest, professional killers. Ending was very good. I was on the edge of my seat the whole entire movie. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch. The ending, like I said, you got to watch this one. This is one you can't skip. I give this one 4 stars. Very good film. I was super entertained throughout. And even though I knew how it all ended because I saw the past film, it was very good. I did finish season 4 of The Witcher. That was very intense. So if you haven't seen the latest season of Witcher on, I believe it's Prime? No, it's Netflix. Definitely want to go see that as well. That ending was really rough, but very, very good. There's going to be a season 5, by the way, because the way it ended, there's got to be another season to finish the adventure. But my seasonal track in Destiny, every week I do that. Actually, for the first time, I missed my seasonal track this week. I ran short of time, but I was actually playing on Kepler, and shout out to Zombie Pops and Allocate. They helped me run through a Sieve event. First time I've run through a Sieve event. It's crazy that I haven't run a Sieve event, because as soon as I finished the campaign, I was right off to Portal to start grinding and make number go up. So thank you to those guys for helping me out. I'm debating whether to try to get my Fated Weapon title, because I know we have a bet running. And I know if I lose the bet, we got to run a HUDless raid, which I am not looking forward to. I'm gonna be so frustrated if I lose this bet. So I have a week and a half to try to get this Fated Weapon title, and I'm looking it over, and it's possible to do. So I'll have to just see if I have the time to do it. If I don't, it looks like I'll be running a HUDless raid. So thanks, Ronan, for that suggestion.
Why try at this point and be rushed? You should have tried earlier. Just go for the HUDless raid. That brings me into a point, man. Bungie really dropped the ball. They should have integrated Kepler much better than this going right into the portal. They really separated the actual new part of Destiny from this portal system. And there's just such a great chasm between these two activities that I forgot all the cool stuff that was over here in Kepler. But because you can't get any powerful rewards, you don't want to go back. You just want to get into the portal so you can get the high power, right? Anyway, we'll get into that later, Todd. Well, bigger than that, the whole rest of the game, everything else other than what's in the portal.
Then says,
way bigger than just Kepler.
Then wants to run HUDless. He goes, shh. Notorious Leo made and saved season 4 of The Witcher. Yeah, man, he was really good too. Man, it was a fantastic. The casting was fantastic in this season's Witcher. Really, really good. They cranked it up a notch. Let me tell you. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get into this interview. I want to learn more about this gentleman in front of us, so we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Mr. Bleahy. I don't even know where to start here. Well, let's start here. This is the best place to start. Where do you hail from and where do you live now, sir?
I was born in New Jersey. I've
Oh.
lived all over the place. I've lived in California, Kentucky, Indiana, New
Oh.
York,
Okay.
France for 4 years. And now I'm in South Carolina, in Hilton Head.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's a lot of places. How do you like France? What do you think of France and Europe?
France was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was, incredible food, incredible people, wonderful weather. It was just a great experience.
Well,
Plus, the job I had, I got to travel all over the world. I got to go to Japan and all the European countries and South America. So it was you get to meet all kinds of great people and eat all kinds of great food, and it was unbelievable, really.
Well, that leads to my next question. I I realize you're retired, but what did you do for a living, sir?
Well, I had two careers. I started. I was a ceramic engineer from Virginia Tech, and I went to work for Corning, and worked for Corning, and then the division I was working for got sold to a French company. So I ended up about 25 years working in the glass and ceramics. I used to work. We made the glass for TV tubes, the old style
Yeah.
before the flat screen.
Yeah.
So I was an engineer in various jobs in that, and then I left that, and I was left my job and had a nice severance, long severance.
Mhm.
And my wife said to me, "Why don't you do something that would really be fun?" And I said, I've always wanted to get a degree in computer science, because although I've been using computers my whole life, that's what I really like. Have this sort of it's kind of like the scarecrow. How he wanted to have brains, and they gave him a diploma. So I went to Georgia Tech and got a master's in computer science, and almost right from the beginning, I became a TA. I was helping to teach, and by the time I finished, I was there for 2 years. They invited me to stay and teach, so I ended up with 20 more years, or 20 years total, teaching computer science.
Only 20 years.
And I taught things like Python and Java and C, and probably the thing that'd be most interesting to the viewers of the podcast or listeners. Georgia Tech College of Computing, we of course had a CS degree, but industry started asking and saying, this was the gaming industry and the film industry. They said, you guys produce fabulous computer scientists. We love them. They're hardcore. They can do the really heavy lifting. But we need some people that know more about stories and story arcs and narratives. So they invented a degree called computational media, which was about 50% computer science and 50% English. And so a bunch of very creative people went right into that major. And they wanted to have a course in very low-level programming, so the students would at least be exposed to doing stuff at the kind of at the level where you literally turn bits on and off in a machine to make things happen. So a guy who before me, he invented a course where they did Game Boy hacking programming, and so I ended up teaching that, which is C programming, and had the students were all writing games, and so we taught a certain amount of game programming, basic concepts, and that was just a dream. It was so much fun, learning how to do it and teaching it and showing people how to do it and and I, honest to God, I had a kid once who was almost in tears, and he said, "This is my dream of my life, is to learn how to program this thing. I had when I was a kid, and this is just, I was like, what, really?" But
Wow.
it was very, very cool. Really
That is fantastic. I mean, wow. So you got into gaming very early, probably very early in the stages. with Game Boys and stuff. Man, that's pretty cool. I mean, well, when was your earliest video game? Did you get into video games late in life, or did you start early as a child, or as a kid, I should say?
Well, when I was a child, they didn't exist yet.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah.
My earliest thing was when I was in graduate school to get my first master's degree back in the early 70s. I was working in the computer center. I was doing computer simulation for my research. And I found, and this was the days of punch cards. You turn in a deck of punch cards,
Mhm.
they'd run them, and you'd get it back the next day.
Right.
Well, I found out if you came in at midnight and stayed there till 8 o'clock in the morning, you could get your jobs back in about half an hour.
Oh,
So I started hanging around the computer center midnight to 8. And there was a bunch of hackers there. This was when hackers was not a bad thing. Hackers was,
Yeah.
we would fish obsolete manuals out of the trash to learn how to use the computer. And one of my friends was telling me that he had heard that at the University of Virginia, somebody had written a Star Trek game, and I couldn't believe it. An actual computer game where you could play Star Trek.
yeah.
And yeah, so
Was it a text-based Star Wars game?
yeah, well, it was a text based, and,
Mhm.
and it was. I actually never. Well, later on I saw it, but
Yeah.
so what I did, the logical thing for me to do was I just dropped everything, stopped working on all my schoolwork, and I wrote my own Star Trek game
Wow.
in Fortran, and using the new. We had the new IBM time sharing. There was probably a dozen terminals on campus with thousands of kids. But I wrote this Star Trek game, and I didn't have how to do asynchronous input or anything like that, and it did have a map where we show you where all the bad guys were, but it was really nobody knew who I was or I had done it, and I could sit there in the computer room and watch people play it, and
Wow.
and
Didn't even know you were the one that created it.
no, yeah, exactly.
cool.
And that, yeah. So it was very, very. The one thing I learned though was if you write your own game, it's not fun to play it.
Oh, okay. Because you know everything about the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but the people who didn't write it, they were quite thrilled. So that was great. So that was in the early 70s.
Okay.
That was my first.
Very cool. Well, let me ask you this: how did you find the game Destiny? Did you play Destiny 1, or are you a Destiny 2 player?
I wasn't day one, but I definitely had Destiny 1, and I believe it was I had the Atari VCS, the 2600, and I had an Atari 800, and I had Atari 1040.
Okay.
And then I got into PC and I played Halo. And then when I was teaching, my TA, I had a lot of TAs, and we would sit around and everybody was talking about video games all the time.
Right.
Like when World of Warcraft came out, all useful activity stopped on campus while the kids just played
Of
World
course.
of Warcraft. And they started talking about Destiny coming in. So I found out what it was. So I got a PlayStation. I think I had a PS2, 3, 4, and 5.
Mhm.
I think I've had all 4. And so I got it, and I got the Destiny, and I was blown away. I just couldn't believe that.
It was cutting edge back then in 2014.
Oh my God.
There wasn't any game like it. I mean, they really, and you know what? This is the funny thing, and people will disagree with me. There's never been a game like it since. There really hasn't. There's been a lot of people that have tried to make a Destiny game, but now, of course, you're starting to see a lot of games that are patterning around Destiny.
Yeah.
Borderlands 4 being a recent example. They've mimicked a lot of things that were in Destiny, and they're very Destiny-like, if you ask me. But that's outstanding. Do you have a favorite memory from playing earlier in Destiny, or anything come to mind?
I have a very, very strange favorite memory. Back when we had the Atari VCS, the Atari 2600, the game console, I got really good at Space Invaders.
Oh, I love that game.
I had a very, very high score.
Nice.
And it would literally take me like an hour to play to get anywhere, back up to make it higher. And I had the room I would play it and I would had like a little chair on the ground, and I was right in front of the TV, and I was sitting there, and I had the lights off, and I was playing it, and my daughter, who was probably like 1.5, she came over and pulled the cartridge out,
Oh.
and I thought I had died. I thought my heart stopped or I had a stroke. It was just a complete, because you're in this world,
Yes.
also the world disappears, and
Yeah.
and I look at her, she's just standing there with the cartridge in her hand, a big grin on her face. All I can do is laugh.
There goes that high score. Yeah. God almighty, man. Those are good days. And lots of good memories from early gaming. That's for sure. Okay. Going back to Destiny here. What NPC do you like the best in Destiny? What's your favorite NPC in the game?
Oh, I think I like Spider. I think Spider cracks me up.
I like that.
Such a
I like
rascal.
that. Not many people say that. I like that. All right. I like that answer. Now, are you typically a solo player or do you prefer to play in a group?
I really enjoy playing with other people and
Okay.
talking and joking and telling stories and whatever. And the strangest thing happened. I posted on Facebook at some point about something about Destiny, and a guy I went to high school with posted that he played Destiny too. And he lived in Kansas, and I hadn't seen him in 30 years.
Oh my God.
And he was going to come to Atlanta, which is where I lived, and he was going to come to DragonCon with his kids.
Right.
And I volunteered at DragonCon. I used to do what they call tech ops.
Mm-hmm.
So we hooked up. We told our life story, what we've been doing for the last 3, and we started playing Destiny together. And for a while, we played almost 7 nights a week.
Wow.
And we played Destiny and and then one of my former TAs started playing with us. And so you got these 2 old men, this young kid. So we were like, the guys on the Muppets, Statler and Waldorf, the 2 old men up in the balcony.
Yeah, I know those guys. Yes.
That's what we were like. We were like we referred to ourselves as Statler and Waldorf and the kid.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
we had a ball. It's really been fun, and we play about once a week now. And,
That's great. So you still game today?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. I love it. Babe, speaking of which, how did you find our little community here? How did you come across our community?
I don't really remember. I don't know whether I was looking for podcasts or I saw something on social media or somewhere, and I just listened, and I said, "That's really, this is really fascinating. A lot of interesting information, and it was very entertaining." And I love the whole Discord thing where you can feedback and
Oh yeah.
And when if you watch like a television show, there's 10 million people watching it. You can't really respond, if you know what I mean. But this is great. I think this is a terrific idea.
It's so funny. I like to use emojis a lot in the Discord just to let people know that I saw their message or how I think about their message. And I'll be in some other platform, even like in chat on YouTube and stuff, and I want to put an emoji, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that here. I can't do that. Dang it. I think Discord is a fantastic platform. It's always been very, very great. I'm glad we started one. That's for sure. Important question here, Bleahy. Do you do bounties, or did you do bounties before they eliminated most of them?
Yes, I like doing that. I like to sign on, and I go over and get the Banshee bounties, and I travel around, and I just kind of like that. I don't know. My suspension of disbelief ability is very good. So when I play Destiny, it's almost real to me. I really get into being the character and being there whatever planet we're on or whatever. And I do like the idea of coming along and getting the crusty old sergeant giving you here's what we need you to do today. Go out and do this.
Your marching orders. I like it. Yeah, I used to sit on the Cosmodrome in the early days. The sound design was so good. You could hear stuff howling in the back, like the captains and stuff with the Elixni were howling and making noise in the back, and you can hear the breeze, and then you hear crickets and stuff, and you're like, man, I feel like I'm right here. And it's a great game. I still don't think there's been a game to match it yet, but that's for sure. Are you a type?
Go ahead.
Definitely games that match it.
No. Well, none that I've played yet.
You refuse to play them.
My head will be in the sand, and that's where it stays. Go ahead, Bleahy. You were going to say something. I don't want to interrupt.
My friend of 30 some years, we would just sometimes walk around and look at the scenery and just think, good Lord, how many people spend how many hours creating this imaginary world? And a lot of people, when I play, it just seems like they're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
on their,
get it done. Get it done so I can clock out and go do something else. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just thought, what a wonderful immersive world. Like you say, the sound design and
we're on the same wavelength. That's the way I feel too when I'm in the worlds. Even today, if I'm wandering around, I'll just say, oh, I don't remember seeing this area. What's going on over here? And most of the worlds, there's nothing really going on event wise, but I love being. I'm maybe it's why I like movies so much, because I can suspend my disbelief and I can just dive right into a world and really hyper focus on stuff. So, are you a Titan or Hunter or Warlock main?
Warlock.
Smart man. You got a lot of smart people in us.
I started, like everybody else, he started as a hunter, and then the Titan was always a big, strong guy. And then when I got to be a warlock and I could fly, I was like, oh my God, this is my favorite part.
I got to say a sin in the chat, in our Discord chat says, Todd's also that way in raids. Kingsley says, yep.
Hey, you like to stop and smell the flowers?
I do. And you know what's funny though? We used to have a gentleman about my age as well when we ran raids in Destiny 1, and he would stop while we're trying to get to the next encounter. He would stop and say, do you guys remember this poster being here? Look at this poster. Look how detailed it is and stuff. And we're like, dude, we used to razz him about it because he would stop and smell the flowers. But I totally get it, man. I totally get it. I really do. What activities do you prefer to play other than obviously the Portal everyone plays now, but before the Portal came around, what activities did you prefer to play?
I like strikes and lost sectors, and I even like I like the open world. I thought the open world was a great. Like I remember spending hours in the Plague Lands.
Right.
And when they brought the Plague Lands back, and it's not an open world, I was really disappointed.
I was too.
I think that was
it was a bad week for Kingsley and I. Well, more me. Kingsley expected it, but I said, I cannot believe.
I already was expecting, but
I said, I cannot believe there's no open patrol area for Plague Lands. They said it was coming back. Yeah. I'm sitting there looking at all the pictures on the. Oh, anyway. Well, we know what's going on, so that's the way it is, I guess. A couple more questions here. If there's one weapon in your vault that you'll refuse to delete, and why? If someone said you had to reset your vault tomorrow and get everything out of it, what are you going to hold on to with your cold, dead fingers?
My tractor cannon.
I love it. Well, okay. Well, tractor cannon you can get out of collections. Let's just say that's we'll say that is an exception. But what legendary weapon would you not want to get rid of? Do you think of one?
The glaives. I thought the glaives were terrific. I got really good with the glaives, and actually, when I didn't play Gambit very much, but if I had a glaive, I could. The invader came across, I could nail him.
Slicing.
That was good.
I was making sure. I was looking over to make sure Priceless Cloud wasn't listening in. Okay, good. Priceless loves those glaives. She'll even glaive her teammates off in Crucible too. That's for sure. If Bungie assigned you a small but versatile dev team, you give them the orders and they do it, what would you have them work on for Destiny 2?
Well, many years ago, I went to a gaming conference in Atlanta that was right next to Georgia Tech. And one of the presenters, one of these researchers that works on video game design and stuff, he put up a picture of a railroad track going off into the distance. And he said, this is what most of our games look like. You just go down this track. And even Destiny, so often you just go down the track. You just follow the HUD and go down. There's one route. I really wish there was activities where you could go different ways, and you could talk to your fire team and say, let's try going this way this time. Let's try this. We'll split up and do this. I really would like to have everything not be just a fit, the same bad guys in the same places and the same doors.
That's what
I'd love to
Kingsley
have a
wants.
Wish that for years.
That's what
And
Kingsley.
it's probably not going to happen, but hopefully it can one of these days.
Procedurally generated worlds. It'll happen one day,
Yeah.
eventually, once the tech catches up and it becomes cheap enough to
Yeah.
integrate into
Well,
games.
Yeah, not all game designers even want to do that, but yeah, that's one thing too. But yeah.
Okay.
I also would like to have a compass.
Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, that would be nice, especially when you can pull up a map so easily. You know, you'd like to know which way you're facing. Yeah. Well, you kind of do. You have. I mean, when you top up your area map, it does have an arrow which way you're pointing. But no, you're right. There is no compass. You're right. You just have to look at it.
You know, it just strikes me that we've got starship. We have starships to move around between planets. We somehow don't know how to make a compass. I can't believe that.
A couple signature questions here before we get to our speed run. Do you have any hobbies outside of gaming?
Yeah, I like to cook. I like to learn, do stuff with computers.
Okay.
I play a drum. It's called a cajon, and I play in a group with a bunch of guitar players and mandolin players. And
wow.
And I like board games a lot, and I run a board game club on Hilton Head.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And I go to another board game night over in Beaufort, which is about an hour away.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I listen to GDC.
That's cool.
And also a card game. I don't know if you ever heard of a card game called Euchre.
Yeah, I know Euchre.
Yeah, so we play. We have I'm also run a Euchre club twice a month.
Wow.
That's
Kingsley, you say I'm busy. You say I'm busy making content. This gentleman's running circles around me, man. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff.
I don't know how I ever had time to work.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not doing a normal job right now, like you are.
That's true.
Exactly.
That is true.
Exactly.
That is true. Okay, touche. Okay. I have to ask, Bleahy, dude, what's up with that gamer tag, Bleahy?
So my name is Leahy, and it's Bill Leahy.
Gotcha.
And I think when I first signed into to Destiny or to Bungie or whatever, that was my standard login name for all kinds of different things. And 48's my birth when I was born.
I got you.
So I just made it that, and it didn't even occur to me that it wasn't supposed to be something that was actually supposed to be something funny, and I just never bothered to change it. Plus, the other thing was a lot of students at Georgia Tech, when I was working and still playing, they would be on, and a lot of times they had something about Georgia Tech in their name, and they would see me and they would play. They would say hi or we'd play. So I didn't want to hide my identity.
So that makes you 77 years old. God bless you, sir. That is fantastic. My dad just turned 80. He just turned 80 on Veterans Day. Never played a video game in his life. I really wish he did. I would have gamed with him all the time. Man, that is fantastic. You gave it away with the 48. I had to do the math real quick. That is fantastic. Kingsley, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be when I'm 77. I want to be playing video games. Hopefully I'll have Oculus and I'll just strap it on my head and I'll just dive right in. Ready Player One, I'll be ready. I'll be ready a player. Mm-hmm. Bleahy, a couple more things here. What's one thing about you that no one knows? I mean, we've learned a lot about you tonight, but what is one thing that might stand out that maybe nobody knows?
I've had 70 kidney stones.
70?
Yeah, 70.
Wow. I've had one. And Sin, you know about that one, right? I'm calling out Sin. He listened to one of my podcasts where I talked about it. 70. Now, okay. You gotta tell me how you get through this process. Because I went through one and I thought I was dying.
The first ones I thought I was dying too, but I take a certain medicines to try to
break
seem
them
to
down.
help. They seem to make them less severe. And
wow.
The other thing is I have found that when you do have one, your body is trying to fight it and trying to tense up and which isn't going to get you anywhere. So you have to do this kind of weird Zen thing where you just relax.
Really?
And yeah, it's weird, but because you're not going to force it out. I mean, you're not. That's not how it works. So you just have to drink lots of fluids and I've had a number of different surgeries for them, but a
Okay.
number of my past too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Someone told me drinking lemon water would help prevent them, but I don't know. I'm sure there's all kinds of home remedies.
I used to drink. I put a couple of ounces of lemon juice and then club soda.
Oh, club
and
soda.
drink that all the time.
Gotcha.
And then I also, the doctor has me on potassium citrate. They say they think that citrate helps. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
the
Let's break it down.
thing, I think that works.
Okay. Okay.
I would recommend that.
Well, I won't be any more nosy than that. Do you have a motto or mantra that you live by, sir?
It's a two-parter. It's don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff.
I love it. Great way to end it. Kingsley, did you want to ask him your patented question? I'm curious to see what he says.
No, I have several other questions actually.
Go for it, sir. Go for it.
I was going to cut in earlier, but then you cut out for me on Discord.
No, go for it.
Tell me, actually, first, a very quick one from Sin, so I don't forget. Do you raid ever, Bleahy?
I have done a little tiny bit. I've raided with people, but I'm not. I could easily be the worst Destiny player that's ever been on this show. I'm not great, and I didn't take up controllers until I was like in my 50s, so I don't have the the twitch muscles have all gone away. So when I first started playing, I would take the controller and I would either be shooting at the ceiling or shooting at the floor, trying to get the damn little joystick to go where I wanted to.
My wife did that first. That's
I have played with. I've had friends that were really, really good players, top level players, and they would take me along and raid sometimes, but I wasn't very good, and I really felt like I was just dragging the whole thing down. And
well, plus, first of all, you don't need to ever think that way. If people are willing to do a teaching raid, we don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
and if you ever want an experience, we can. I mean, some raids aren't as fast paced. Like if we're thinking like Volta Glass and stuff. So if you're ever interested, we'll gladly run some with you.
I would like to do that.
Absolutely. He made a.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kingsley. What else you got?
Yeah, and then next question, and then I have two other that goes back in the conversation a little bit. When you say you do board game stuff, and I know we've had some side conversations about this, do you ever do D&D stuff, or have you ever tried it?
Oh yeah. I
do you like it?
Yeah. Before I moved, I was in a couple of games in Atlanta. Atlanta has a big community, and I really loved it. And then when COVID hit, we all started doing it either on Discord or something else. And then when I moved, I still stayed with a couple of games for a while. And I used to go over to Savannah. Savannah had a game store over there that had it. And right now, I probably would do it if I had more time, but I just having to drive an hour each way is kind of a pain in it. But I really liked D&D, and I have a niece and a nephew who both are very active players. And when I go, like at Christmas, sometimes we'll have a game, and it's a ball. I really like it.
Excellent. And there's some virtual D&D groups with some sister Discords. If you're ever interested, I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, I'd like that.
All right, a couple other questions. I want to know, what was your first experiences with personal computers when they started coming out in the early 80s? Like, what was some of your first PCs?
Well, the first actual, I guess I don't know if you count an Atari 800. That was my first computer. And then
if it was the computer version, not the gaming one where you could actually do stuff on, I say it would count. It's a personal computer. Yeah.
TRS-80, you could still play games on.
In fact, I had this Atari 800, and I joined this at the time. I was living in Indiana, and I joined this Atari users group in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And there was a kid, 16-year-old kid, and Atari had come up with an assembler cartridge. You could plug this thing in, you could write assembler code, and you could create little. It was designed to make little tiny animation things in machine code in assembly language, and there was a way in BASIC that you could actually take your assembly machine code and encode it as graphic characters and actually put it in the string, and you could poke them into memory, so you could create little things to make games better. So this kid took this assembler cartridge and he wrote a game called Caverns of Mars. And it was a full-fledged, complete game of spaceships descending down in the caverns of Mars. And it eventually got released. I mean, you can look it up on Wikipedia. He was in our club. And as soon as everybody realized who he was and what he had done, they elected him president. And he really wasn't ready to be president, but it was kind of like by acclaim. They were all so thrilled. But he wrote this goddamn game, and it was just unbelievable that he did it, because the thing wasn't designed for that at all. But he didn't let that stop him, so he created it. Wonderful.
That's great. That's great. And then I also last want to know, if we have time, I have a couple of quick questions. But what's kind of your first experiences with when you started using the internet? Now, you and I both know it's been around in some form even through the 60s and the 70s. But what's kind of your first getting started with the internet?
Well, I know. When I first got on, it was CompuServe.
Oh, I remember them.
I got a CompuServe account, and and I still remember that the first time I downloaded a picture, and it took about 40 minutes.
Like, would you say late 80s, early 90s, if you had to guess, or mid 90s even?
And Bleahy, what was that picture of? I'm curious what that picture was of. Oh, okay.
It was a car.
Sorry, my mind went another place.
It was the modem, the 300 baud. Put the telephone into the modem, and then somebody in your house would pick up the other extension and screw the whole thing up.
Yeah. DSL.
The first computer, when I had the Atari 800, then I bought the Atari 1040, which was sort of like the same time Amiga came out. They were competitors to some extent, although the Amiga was probably technically more advanced. But I had a modem, and I had disk drives, and I could do all kinds of. I could write, use word processors, and then eventually I went to PC. Got my first PC and used that for all kinds of things, and loved email and just the early days of the internet. Yeah.
That sounds like 90s then, because I don't think too many people were downloading pictures in the 80s on the internet. But
No.
Well, now it took 40 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I've been using it since I was a kid, so I've been using things since the 80s and the 90s. But yeah.
Wow.
The other thing was, because I had an Atari, if you went on CompuServe, there would be like all these different forums and different libraries where you could download different things, and there'd be like 30 of them for PCs, IBM PCs, and like one for Atari. And when you went into a computer store, there'd be rack after rack after rack of PC stuff, and then there'd be one little half of a rack was Atari. So that's kind of why I switched to a PC. And I also had a Radio Shack. It was Model 3. It was actually built for business. At one time, I was going to go into business for myself, doing software. And it just so happened at the same time I got a big promotion at work, and all of a sudden I had no more time to do that. So I did have one of those. Yeah. I remember buying VisiCalc and being just amazed. Yeah, it was just the most incredible piece of software I could imagine.
Well, quick change as topic here. What would be, just quick answer, a favorite drink and a favorite dessert that you have?
I would say for favorite dessert, one would certainly be key lime pie.
Yes.
That's kind of big around here.
Yes.
And
Live in
favorite
Florida.
drink is usually either soda water, just club soda. If you're talking about like an actual drink, I like martinis. I like dark and stormies. I like Moscow mules.
Okay.
I like bourbon, a little bourbon on rocks,
Mhm.
or an old fashioned. Um,
Love it.
and
Excellent.
I like beer. You know,
Love it. You like Blue Moon?
Well, thank you,
Just
sir.
kidding. Just kidding. I had to throw Blue Moon in there. Well, Bleahy, thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your life with us tonight. That was awesome. But we're not done yet. We have our speed run coming up next. Do I have the? Hold on, let me. Yes, I do have it.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Ginseng Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, that means it is time for the speed run. This is a segment where I have put together 25 random questions from a pool of over 1,000 that our community has submitted over the years. They're simple, quick answers to get to know our guests at an even deeper level. No time limits, no contest, just quick answers, quick questions. So if you're all set, Bleahy, you ready to do this? All right, here we go.
Yep.
Number 1, morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Controller, mouse, and keyboard?
Controller.
What is your favorite Destiny exotic? It can be from either game.
The rifle, the scout rifle that we just got, the one with
The one we just got?
can't think of the name. Well, one that came around with Kepler.
The scout rifle from. Hold on, I got it here. I just got one last night. The it is it's Arc.
He's talking about the exotic.
Sublimation. Oh, you're talking about the. Are you talking about the new exotic?
In the season pass bar, right?
The
first season pass,
the Malpai.
No, third iteration.
Third iteration,
Yeah.
yes, I love that. That is a good scout rifle. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Oh, the guy that used to do the Traveler.
Oh yeah.
Bill Nye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
That would be
he
good.
was the. Have you ever seen Love Actually?
Yes.
He's the guy that played the aging rocker.
That was the voice of the speaker?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Oh my gosh. Now that blew my mind. All right. Void, solar, arc, stasis, or strand?
I really like solar. I was always very big on solar.
Okay. You like to hand out the flaming birds. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Pulse, hand cannon, scouts, or auto rifle? I guess you kind of gave it away, but
Yeah,
Of
probably
the-
Scout. Yeah,
okay. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
right here.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah,
What was your first? Well, this is going to be a deep dive. What was your first music album or LP?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I remember. It might have been the Beatles' White Album.
Oh.
Although I do remember having an Aerosmith.
Mhm.
I had this whole collection of vinyl, and we moved to France and put it in storage, and it got stolen.
Permanent Vacation.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Yeah.
That's a great album.
It was around that time,
Mhm.
around the Beatles' White Album time is probably where I got it.
Okay. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Probably being a caddy.
I love it. I love it.
Like being a caddy.
Who would play you in a movie of your life?
You know who Robert Morse is?
That sounds familiar.
He's probably dead now, but people used to tell me he looked like me, which I didn't see, but anyway.
Okay. Robert Morris. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Roller coaster or carousel?
A roller coaster.
Awesome. Sweet or salty? And what is your favorite snack based on that answer?
Well, I like something we call Gorp. I'm not sure that's the real name, but it's like a trail mix of M&Ms, dry roasted peanuts, and raisins. So it's actually sweet and salty.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's actually the best mix, actually, is sweet and salty. Okay. If you had more time, what would you do with it?
Play more Destiny.
I like it. What is your favorite Destiny planet and why?
I used to really love Titan.
Oh,
That the mix of that kind of refinery at sea vibe, along with the resort hotels.
yeah. The super mall. It's crazy.
I thought that was really, I really liked that.
I agree. That was a fantastic map. I wish they'd bring it back. Okay. Next question. What is the best sandwich?
I think a club sandwich.
Okay. It's a good all-American sandwich. Okay. If you could take any one famous person to dinner, who would it be?
George Washington. They asked me, does he have to be alive?
Nope. Alive or dead. I didn't spell that out. So I guess that could be an answer. Describe your George Washington. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's famous. He's definitely famous. He's up there.
I was watching the Revolution. With they were talking about him, and I heard stuff I never heard about him. I just said, "Holy shit!"
It's crazy. Washington could have been a king. He decided he didn't want to be that. He did not want to be a king, so that's why he gave up his presidency. Such a selfless act. Anyway, describe yourself in one word.
Interesting.
I like it. Have you ever had a nickname?
Had many nicknames.
Name one and give me a reason why. What was the origin of it?
So one of them was Yodel.
Okay.
Because you could say Yodelehi. Like
Yodelehi, I get it. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I never liked it very much.
All right, good deal. Can you drive a stick shift?
Yes.
I tell you, if anybody from the Greatest Generation can't drive a stick shift, I don't think they had automatics back then. Well, I guess they could have. Name a blast from the past.
A blast from the past?
Mm-hmm. Something that was like really popular from the past. I guess I should probably clarify a little better. That's an 80s term.
Yeah. Hullabaloo.
Okay. All right.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh my God. It was a music show.
Did you say Hullabaloo?
Hullabaloo, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Look it up and watch a clip.
I will. Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Okay. What weapon slot do you use the most for an exotic? Would be kinetic. The energy weapon. Okay, I got you. C3PO or R2D2?
Oh, C3PO.
Power, courage, or wisdom?
Wisdom.
All right. Finally, name one thing that you would change about yourself.
I'd be thinner.
Amen. I hear you there. Well, Bleahy, you have now completed the speed run. You are even well known. Thank you for playing along, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, I've got a question for all you out there. If you have a speed run question that you think should be in future episodes for our guests, let's hear them. Go to our 2026 speedrun channel and submit your question. And at the beginning of 2026, we're actually going to have 2 drawings for a $25 Amazon gift card. So what do you have to lose? Let's hear it. We only accept 1 entry per member to go into the drawing, but you can give us as many as you like. So thanks and good luck. All right. That means it's time for This Week in Destiny. What's up, Mr. Willem Scream? How you doing, sir? He's in the chat, in our YouTube chat. How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. All right.
Our Discord chat's popping off. We have lots of people in Discord tonight.
I tell you what, the TWID is very short. We're probably going to spend more time on the changes coming to our exotic armor than we are the TWID. So we'll just get through the TWID quick, and then we'll jump into the changes coming to, coming to our exotic armor. Bill Nye was Davy Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
You can look it up on the acting credits.
Me and Kingsley will get into the TWAB here, Bleahy, but if you have a comment on anything, just jump right in, okay? But
Okay.
we're just going to
I
do
want to get into the TWID personally.
Yeah, it's going to go pretty quick. So you do not or do? You do want to get?
You're not listening at all tonight, are you?
I'm hearing pieces and parts. Sorry. Okay. All right.
Never mind. It's fine.
All right, here we go. Do 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 do. Boom. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, this week in Destiny for November 20th, 2025, you got a date. You've got a date with, well, us. This week in Destiny, we're revealing our next Renegades developer live stream and Equilibrium dungeon race details. We've also shared a new content calendar and Dev Insights article for our next expansion, which drops in less than 2 weeks. Time may be a construct, but there isn't much of it left before Renegades, so we better jump in to our topics. Tune into Renegades for a developer live stream. There's a job that needs doing, Guardian. Join us Tuesday, November 25th, 10 a.m. Pacific time over at Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok for our next developer live stream where we'll be debuting the Destiny 2 Renegades launch trailer and our second Renegades Vidoc. Hell yes. Covering blasters, new exotic gear, and much more. I love Vidocs. Well, then plot a course to Tharsis Outpost with our dev team at the helm, leading a deep dive gameplay preview of the new Lawless Frontier activity. So that's going to be really good. So Tuesday, November 25th, 10 a.m., basically reset. It'll be 12 noon for us over here on the East Coast. And this is the emblem you can get if you tune in. Not bad. Kind of space age. It's kind of cool. Oh, that looks pretty cool. You know what, guys? Sorry. You guys in the Discord? I can, think I can share my screen. There
Don't
you
worry
guys
about
go.
it too much.
There you guys go. Yeah, there we go. That way you guys can follow along. Dungeon Zone returns for Equilibrium. We look at the unveiled Equilibrium, the new dungeon coming in Renegades, and the start date and time for its world's first dungeon race, Evan F 1997. And CB Gray will be hosting Dungeon Zone live from Bungie headquarters on December 13th. I got it wrong last week. It's not December 11th. It's December 13th, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Wow. And their pre-show featuring interviews with Bungie developers, previous dungeon race winners, and more. Tune in for the chance to earn displates, there you go, Kingsley, or Renegades game codes during the live stream. We talked about the rules last week, about the overlays, and someone has to stream. So just go over that if you didn't hear us last week talk about it. The Renegades armor tuning preview, we're going to get into that next. This is the content calendar. Now, Kingsley, correct me if I'm wrong here. They haven't changed anything from last
We
week.
talked about this last week.
I just making sure they didn't add anything new to it. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, we talked about this last week, the new content calendar. This is already fall. This has already been out. So this is all the new stuff coming. So if you missed that, it'll be in this week's TWAB as well. Black Friday is coming. They got a new t-shirt design there that looks pretty rad. And in player support report, shit's broken, right? Pretty much. Anything of value we need to mention there, Kingsley, or is that all pretty much adding to the list of stuff? Okay. All right. That means let's get in right into the developer update then. These are the dev insights for Renegades armor tuning preview. Hello from Rewards team. Today we're on to the second of our 3 sandbox preview articles for Renegades. This time focused on exotic armor changes. We have a section of exotics to talk about that we've given a bit of love to match with the upcoming new artifact in Renegades, which we're going to talk about later this week in the Destiny article. I don't see that. Where's that part?
No, they say NA later, not this week.
Fine. All right, Graviton forfeit.
It's coming out on Wednesday. They talked Tuesday. Wait, no,
they're gonna do it in the dev,
Wednesday,
the live stream, maybe. They're gonna do it in the live stream.
No. Yeah, they're not doing it in the live stream. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesdays when the artifact stuff is coming out.
So they're probably gonna release one more TWAB then on Wednesday. Okay, that's fair enough. Maybe like a mini
TWID.
TWAB. Twid. Yes. Okay. Twid. The Graviton Forfeit was once a workhorse exotic in Destiny 1, but has struggled to find value in Destiny 2, especially after Void 3.0. So what they're changing on this, it grants improved grenade, melee, and class ability recharge rates for a moderate duration each time you become invisible, and this stacks up to 3 times, and the effect time does not deplete when you're invisible. All 3 stacks stack the buff. Successive triggers additionally grant a portion of Void Overshield as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. Omnioculus, given the success of our more support-centric exotics, we're leaning into Omnioculus into a more potent support role to allow hunters to fill in a bit of that more selfless fireteam role. So granting the effects of Beyond the Veil to allies now also starts their health and shield regen. How's that going to work in Crucible? Okay. This only applies to allies and not the hunters themselves. Shax is watching. Okay. So in other words, they're going to tune it if Shax doesn't agree with how it's being used. Okay. Lucky Raspberry, the Arc Bolt grenades are getting a remake. They're going to have increased projectile lifetime of chain projectile. This helps a bit of consistency in moving the targets that are near the outer edge of the chain range. Now activates in 1/10 of a second faster after the initial sensor sweep. In other words, it's going to be a 1/2 a second. Increase max chain range of the initial chain for 7 meters to 10. That's going to be, we're going to feel that. And on the exotic armor, the Lucky Raspberry now always applies Jolt on Arc Bolt grenade hits and returns Arc Bolt energy on any application of the Jolt debuff or triggering the Jolt chains on a target already affected by the debuff. Okay. So I might actually try. You think the Arc Bolts are going to be back? I don't know. We'll see about that. Orpheus Rig. Alongside some ability changes coming in Renegades, we've also adjusted how Orpheus Rig benefits Shadow Shot. Look forward to more on abilities and upcoming dev insights. So they're going to talk about that, probably tying into the new seasonal artifact. So increased super duration from 16 to 20 seconds. Okay, that's all we know on that. Gemini Jesters, they're increasing the disorient duration against players from a 1/2 a second to 1 full second. In addition to applying disorient, misdirection also removes opposing HUD for 2 seconds. That's an eternity in the Crucible. Increased disorient duration against PvE combatants from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Okay. So for the hunters so far, anything there of you want to mention, Kingsley? The hunter changes?
No.
Okay. I agree.
There's with all these things, like people won't really know until they try it out,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Exactly.
yeah, I suggest people read this over on your own because
Yeah.
there's just so much that
It is.
even if you read it and hear it from us, you're not going to remember all these things. So just reference back to it.
Yeah, and we're going to breeze through now from here on out because I'm just going to tell you the changes that are coming. Arbor Warden, I know everybody loves using this because they love to put up their sword and block forever. But if you pick up 3 orbs of power, it enhances your next Baronade. I see what they said there. Did there. Enhanced Baronade spawns as a Y pattern of 3 of your equipped barricade on Baronade detonation. Okay, I got to see how that works. This does work with barricade modifications like Dringer's Lash and Storm's Keep. Okay. Dune Marchers increase the maximum chain count from 4 to 7. Damn. Okay. Each chain hit now grants 2 bolt charge stacks, 3 with the fragment. Glaive melees, there you go, Bleahy. Glaive melees can now also trigger the chain. Ursa Furiosa should now properly gain super energy if damage is blocked. This must have been bugged. While the player has an overshield, super energy stored is no longer scaled based on enemy difficulty. Super energy refund meter fill rate is doubled at power activities. Super energy refund meter fill rate is buffed by about 13.6% in the -40 power activities, which is very few. Okay, second chance. These are the gauntlets, I believe. They've added spawns void breaches on shield throw final blows. Grants shield throw melee energy on picking up any void breach. The Sentinel Shield Super's ranged attack, the shield throw in other words, now also weakens with this exotic equipped, and fixed a bug where the anti-barrier shield throw melee would not bounce to more than 2 targets. I never liked that. I'd really just never have had fun with throwing the shield, the Captain America build. I just never got into that. Armamentarium now grants 10% grenade energy on a weapon final blow. Now reloads the player's equipped weapons when using a grenade ability. Lion Rampants now allows shooting while ADS when in lift. Okay, that could be a game changer. Peacekeepers, increased mobility bonus from 25 to 30. Re-added ability to swap load SMGs. Okay. Anything on the Titans there, Kingsley? I know we're pretty much Warlock people, but we'll just have to see how that all
Lee,
plays
you
out.
have anything yourself? I don't have anything.
No, I mean those are all exotics that I didn't use a whole lot of because, well, I just mentioned I'm not a big fan of the Captain America shields and all that stuff. Nothing manacles. This is kind of big. Charge grenade now creates 4 more seekers. It's already pretty strong right now if you hold it. Increased charge seeker damage versus combatants by a 25%. Increased charge seeker tracking versus combatants. Increased charge seeker lifetime. That's huge. That's about to be a game changer right there. Charge scatter grenade ability, faster final projectile speed. It was kind of slow, kind of bumbly. Exotic armor now spawns additional scatter seekers on scatter grenade kill. This effect can chain. This is going to be like the Axiom Bolt. The Axiom Bolt's just kicking butt right now. This is going to make scatter grenades maybe on the same level. That's pretty cool. Briar Binds. I used to love using these. I don't know why I quit using them, but now needs fewer kills to max out the Briar Binds Void Soul damage bonus. They decreased it from 4 to 6. Additionally, the Briar Binds Void Scout now does more damage based on the amount of time it has been deployed on target, up to 30% more damage after 10 seconds. Storm Dancer's Brace, while this is equipped, it grants bolt charge for arc ability when hits when amplified. Storm Trance damage bonus now builds on hits instead of kills. That's big. Increased max count to compensate. Now needs 30 hits to cap. Top end damage bonus is unchanged. Okay. Winner's Guile. Melee and finisher final blows grant bonus melee damage. Melee final blows grant 1 stack. Finishers grant 3 stacks. Max is 10 stacks per 400% melee damage. Holy crap. Stacks are lost 1 at a time, lasts 4.5 seconds. Are we going to have punchy Warlocks? Man, it might come to that. Sin's going to be jealous. Okay, you have, once you reach 10 stacks, you have 10 seconds to activate the Warlord's Rage. While in Warlord's Rage, gain, this is a total rework. Gain dramatically increased melee regen speed. Gain faster melee speed. Melee damage bonus increases up to 500%, lasts 10 seconds, and you lose all stacks once Warlord Rage ends. Okay, that's really cool. I know you're going to want to talk about this one, Kingsley. Matadoxia. Hitting a target with 5 Needle Storm super projectiles now will also activate the Stylosticus suspending burst.
And by the way, it's Matadoxia too.
Matadoxia? Okay.
Not Matadoxia.
Oh, okay. The burst caused by the
Yes,
super
I like this one.
deals radically increased damage to all targets caught in the radius. This burst should now allow Needle Storm to feel like a damage contender with the likes of the Curus? Thunder Crash? Okay. That's pretty big damage. You can use this in raids?
Well, no, this is the biggest news of the TWID. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are agreeing the Warlocks got a lot of good changes this time.
Yeah, they did.
But to have a Warlock super now that'll be a contender with Thunder Crash?
Wow. That's good. I mean, I use
So-
Needle Storm on my Prismatic, but I don't have those. I don't have the chest piece though on. Wow.
Well, you should consider it next season. It was already good this season.
Well, we'll see what kind of damage numbers you
Yeah.
put up, and I might be sold. We'll have to just see on that one. Okay.
I'm already doing good damage numbers.
I know. Are you're wearing them? You're
you
wearing
don't,
the.
you don't need that excuse. You still won't switch.
No, you're wearing the Matadoxia. Is that how you say it? Metadoxia?
Matadoxia.
Matadoxia. You already wearing it in the raid when we raid on Desert Perpetual?
Oh yeah, I've been
That's the one-
maining this the whole
I didn't know.
since Edge of Fate.
Oh,
It's a strand build that I prefer more. You know, when we talk about like
I thought you were using.
you were really pressed with some of the buddy builds being increased.
I do, man. I
Grenade
like-
builds
like
with
my
scatter and
getaway.
stuff. That's the thing. Is like there's so many options that are everyone. It's the joke right now is abilities are stronger in the game than guns, and it's almost true. And no one could say like this build is necessarily better than this build because ability
Yeah.
builds in general are just really good. So me personally, I haven't been, tricked into the typical buddy builds because I actually can do even better with this Metaiodoxia build, and put out really good damage numbers and kill ads really quicker than waiting for a bullet from my buddies to do. I can
Okay.
literally take down things quicker than the buddies.
Wow.
But I'm so happy that this one's going to be buffed to being a major damage contender.
That's pretty cool.
So
that is
that'll be
pretty cool. All right. Good deal. And then finally, Dawn Chorus is getting a remake. Daybreak plus Dawn Chorus damage increased by 5%, and total Scorch stacks increased. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, that's it. That's all the news from Bungie this week. I guess they're waiting to release all this stuff come Tuesday, I guess, right? Is that I guess they're planning on doing?
Well, funny enough, the trailer accidentally got released tonight.
Oh, it did?
People
Accidentally?
already saved the video out. Bungie accidentally put it on their YouTube Destiny 2 channel. It was actually, it got the ad network put it out early, and it actually showed up as an ad, even though it wasn't even supposed to come out until
What?
Tuesday.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Bungie?
Quality control. I mean, we already know there's not good quality control right now. But
Oh my gosh.
so if you really care, people, of course, we're not going to spoil anything until Tuesday when it officially comes out. But
Right.
you can see that launch trailer ad video even right now.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till Tuesday and see what's coming down the pike. I'm looking forward to it. I love Vidocs, man. Hopefully it's a little bit longer one this time, but yeah, we'll just have to see. Okay. All right. That means we're on next to our topic of the week, sponsored by Bleahy. We'll be right back. Excellent, man. Good deal. Okay. Bleahy, did you want to open up the intro on this topic, or did you want me to roll with it? It's up to you.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll just lead you into it. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Okay, for our topic of the week, whenever we have a guest, we typically ask if they have something they want to talk about. And Bleahy did have a topic for tonight, and I changed it a little bit. I added a little bit to it. So the question tonight is, why do we play looter shooter games? Also, and this is more related to what Bleahy was talking about, what are some of our favorite weapons from the past? And more importantly, what weapons will we like to see in the future of Destiny 2? Which I thought was a very good topic. I will say this. I actually went back into my Destiny 1 dim, and then I found a lot of weapons that I really miss from Destiny 1 even. But I wanted to open it up to you first, Bleahy, since this was your topic. What did you want to add to this, sir?
Well, I think that the first part is, what is it about looter shooters? And you said something a few weeks ago when I was listening to the podcast about watch the number go up, and I hadn't really thought about it, but that's, to me, is just, whenever I started playing and I would see other people like in the open world, and clearly they had better weapons and better skills, and I'd say, I want to be like that guy. So you were sort of driven to keep trying to get better weapons and better things and get better at aiming. When I first started out, I finally found the shotgun, because at last I could actually get something I could shoot somebody with and I might kill them. But over time, more and more weapons became available, and I could actually aim them and actually hit things.
Right.
And so I think that's just that whole thing of progressing and getting better and better and feeling like you're becoming, very powerful and effective.
I think Cammy Cake said it best in one of his prior videos. He was talking about Game Dead. It was his Game Dead video. Just kind of funny. He says, we that play Destiny, we're all gamblers. We love to gamble. We love to roll the dice and see what Bungie's going to throw at us. What's going to be in the chest, right? What's going to be in the chest? We finished the raid. What's in the chest? We going to get the exotic? Let's roll the dice. I think that's kind of some of the mentality why a lot of us like to play looter shooters. I mean, do you agree, Kingsley, or am I off base here?
Well, I don't agree with the gambler terminology, because gambling has a lot of negative connotations to it too, where people are like,
yeah, it could be
they
addictive.
almost can't. It's not just the addictive thing, but also, of course, I'm so nuanced with this answering, but like, Yes, I like the RNG aspect of what's going to come out of the chest, but it's not a gambling mentality because I don't have an ounce of gambling care
Okay.
in my life. So I really do differentiate. Yet I'm still excited to see what comes out of the chest about that. So just to answer that question, I don't know if you wanted me to go on with the other stuff.
Do you
But,
do you agree, Bleahy? Or do you like do you think it's gambling, or do you think it's something else?
Well, I can remember I guess in D1 when you'd go to the tower and you'd have collected a bunch of engrams and you'd cash them in. And that was very exciting, to see what would pop up because you didn't know. And
Yeah.
they got rid of that for, I guess, for efficiency reasons or whatever. But it was kind of I remember that being really exciting when you suddenly some cool weapon with one of the things you got. So I think there's a lot of that, the surprise of the random thing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's the ultimate dopamine hit for me because, I mean, when you play, I played so many Call of Duty games, and I heard that the latest one is not being well received, by the way. Maybe Call of Duty's finally hit a wall. They're not the best selling game in the world anymore, but, it was very deterministic what I would get as I ranked up in Call of Duty. They showed you all the guns. They showed you what you were going to unlock. They showed you what you had to do to unlock the gun. And then in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, they would tell you how many kills you had to get on the gun to get the next attachment. It was always very linear. And that's, I guess, the magic of Destiny, is where I actually realized that not only would I be surprised about what gun I would get in the world, but then I could go shoot other Guardians with it. That is, to me, that is really the magic sauce of Destiny, is the fact that you can use it in two different worlds. And I mentioned that there's no real games that have rivaled at least Destiny's world. And I have to tell you, after I've been watching a lot of people play the new Arc Raiders has given Destiny a run for its money. I have opinions as far as how far I think it'll go. I have some thoughts on how it's going to go in the future, but just to stay on this topic, that's the part. It's that dopamine hit, man, when you hit that treasure chest or when you turn in that Engram, right? Any other reasons why you guys like to play looter shooters that I didn't mention?
yeah, so to answer that general question, for me, it is about, I love the RNG aspect of it, and Destiny always needs to keep that because that's how they first created their game. And if they ever totally remove RNG elements of getting stuff from chests, I will not be happy. But for me, it is about getting better weapons and armor.
Mhm.
But it's not that I also find that annoying too, because to have better weapons and armor means you have to have crappy ones too. There's no such thing as better unless there's bad. And I kind of feel like sometimes it's like, why are we going through this dance? Like everyone knows when you get the green weapons, you're gonna get rid of them,
Right.
all this stuff. And in some ways, we're just kind of playing this funny dance. It's in almost every game that I play now. A lot of games do this. To ignore the greens and the blues, and you start looking for the purples and the yellows, right? Because those are the better weapons.
And they all use the same color codes too. It's amazing.
Yeah, they do. Now, some games have more, like Division also has orange, which is better than yellow, or I mean, some other examples in green, like a different green. But the idea is there. What I enjoy is it's not about a number so much, or like I'm min maxing, because I get bored with min maxing, but I do enjoy getting something that's substantially better, almost like a different class. And I think we're going to be talking about this too, like a different type of class of weapon. So like, let's say I'm getting like a bunch of just like low level auto rifles and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is boring. I'm waiting to get something better. And then finally, you either do some quest or through some RNG aspect of getting it through a chest, you get a much better class of weapon. It could still be an auto rifle class, but it's like a hard hitting class. You know what I mean? Something
Right.
that's a lot better,
Right.
or something that's like legendary class versus like a blue class or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy. I obviously enjoy getting better weapons. I sometimes feel like all the ones that aren't so good, we don't need to have so many in between. It's almost like give us starting weapons and then start the RNG of when they're coming through chests, something like that. That's what I would prefer. But I know not everyone likes that. But yeah, just to answer the question on the loot part.
Okay.
Now there's other reasons why I like looter shooters besides just weapons, because just on a generic term, looter shooter also generally means an RPG type game
Yes. Yeah.
that has exploration and armor and weapons and all these things.
You have to
But
mention
I didn't
that.
know if we
Yeah.
were just talking on the
No, I
topic
mean,
of weapons right now.
I mean, that's really what makes, Destiny great. I mean, a regular looter shooter like Borderlands 4, you're getting,
or Division.
Yeah, they throw weapons at you, and eventually you find a weapon that works for you and you kind of just like it. And you're always looking to rank up the best weapon, I guess. But then you bring in the build crafting aspect, especially with the new armor system they have in Destiny now. And that really, to me, is a game changer. When you can start building your armor with all these different class and presets for armor around the super and the subclass that you're trying to use, now we're playing a different game. And for me, it's only strengthened my appeal with Destiny 2. The fact that we now can build craft our armor, where in the past it was very generalistic. You were looking for certain stats, but now you're building, every armor setup you have has the set bonuses now, which means you want to collect all of them. There's a little bit of FOMO there, because if you missed Solstice, then you didn't get a lot of the armor that they had there, which benefits from any solar healing will give you benefits to it. So the lustrous armor. So they add that aspect to it now. Now I'm all in as far as that. And I think the biggest problem right now with Destiny, it's a content issue. We've drank the Kool-Aid. We love everything that they're putting out. We love it, but there's just not enough of it. So when you play it so many times, when you get all the weapons, then you get the people in the tower doing this. I played everything. What else is there to do? What other weapons is there to get? And I think that's at the point we're at now. And of course there's other reasons too, with the portal system and all that too. But, that's just ramped it up for me as far as Destiny. Any other comments on that before we move on to the next area of it? Nope. Okay.
Well, since Bleahy wasn't saying anything on the armor, it's funny for me. I get bored, like I said, been maxing. So I do appreciate doing builds. Obviously, builds are very powerful, but I never want to figure them out on my own. So I really appreciate that there are streamers and build guide videos and websites that talk about builds, because if you want to run a meta build, which most people should or should at least consider,
right.
I mean, if you want to do your own thing, great. And that's what the build crafting is for. But I'm not going to be spending, even though this would be fun for some people, I'm not going to be spending hours in the tower testing things at the shooting range. And, oh, now let's move my weapon stat up some. Now let's move my super stat up some. I'm waiting for someone to come out with a cool build, and then I'll just copy pasta it. Now, part of, I guess, that it can sometimes be a little bit fun is if I don't have the things that are recommended, I'll start chasing some of those things.
Right.
But typically how Destiny's been the last several years is all these builds work pretty good within a large tolerance.
Right.
And honestly, you could do most everything in the game without a perfect build anyways. We always tell people this when they hop into raids, like, oh, what do I need for this and this? And like, honestly, I mean, you can kind of use whatever you want.
Right.
You don't have to have a min-maxed build, but I still have fun with these builds. I just don't want to figure them out on my own. Todd, have you ever literally like gone through every little part of a build, or do you usually go off of build guides too?
I tell you what I have done. I'll watch someone's build video and they'll go into, I love the content creators, YouTubers out there that say, this is the build, this is what it can do. Now let's break it down. Here's how this is working. And this is why we're doing this, because it synergizes with this. If I did it on my own, I would probably be logged in online for like 2 hours trying to put a build together. So I'm with you, man. I appreciate how they put the builds together, but what I'll probably do, because my play style may be less aggressive than them, or I'll do something a little bit different, or where I play and what activities I play, I'll tweak a lot of some of the secondary traits of some of the builds.
Oh, sure. A lot of people will do that.
Yeah, I get the basic build.
Scratch either,
I
right?
get the basic build, and then I start tweaking it to what I think will be better for me, for my gameplay. So yeah, that's how I usually approach it. What do you think? What do you think, Bleahy? Do you get into builds and all that stuff?
No, I agree 100%. I love being able to go out and find a streamer or somebody that says, here's a great whatever, and copy it and maybe modify it slightly. But yeah, I think that's a wonderful aspect of the game that those people are out there doing that.
And it's fantastic that I love streamers who leave dim links because you can immediately go it immediately downloads to your dim. And then of course you can put your own labels on it and then start looking at it and saying, okay, I want to use these weapons instead. And you can start tweaking it and then you put your stamp on it and then it's your build, but you're basing it off someone else's idea. I like that part of it. I really do. Well, the one thing that you mentioned, Bill, in your topic here tonight is you were asking us what are some of our past favorite weapons. Now I'm going to get a little nostalgic here in Destiny because when you told us that you wanted to talk about that, I went immediately back to my Destiny 1 game and started looking over my immense library of my vault. And I found several weapons that I really miss. I really miss these weapons. But I wanted to start with you. Was there a favorite weapon in the past that you wanted to mention here? And I can even flash it on.
I can remember when a season changed and all of a sudden there was the first few missions and there was some kind of weird area of effect weapon and you didn't know what it was at first. And I thought it was some alien. I thought they were shooting at me. And then I discovered it was the Wither Horde.
Right.
And I was like, I get to have one of these? Are you kidding? And for a while, when it was new, I just thought this was the coolest thing in the world. It was so effective and it worked so well. I really loved it. I mentioned earlier glaives. I thought the glaives was a terrific idea. I like the fact that you could. What I really loved about it is you could run out of ammo and it still worked. You know, you could still melee, stick people within the wound work. I have to mention the Graviton Lance just because of the noise it makes.
It's like a staple gun. It's like a staple gun. It's like
trace rifles, because it's funny, they hardly ever give bounties for them, and they don't really seem to factor in, but it's like the ray gun you've always dreamt about, from science fiction. I really like trace rifles. I have a Faithkeeper rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
I got with it had tracking and it had a blast radius of 100, and
nice.
It seems like it doesn't work as well as it used to, but back when it first came out, it was terrific. It was really, really good and powerful. And also, I always thought the Wish Ender was a terrific.
It's a good bow.
Terrific bow. One of the best bows, I thought.
It's a great advantage in Crucible when you can get a radar screen and see everybody hiding behind walls and stuff. That's always nice.
And I mentioned the tractor cannon, which I always thought was a funny, just the whole. Well, the tractor cannon and also the rocket launcher. I can't think of the name of. Wait a minute.
The exotic, the Truth.
No, the one that was the. Hold on.
The one that spewed fire when you shot it. It shot a trail of fire. The
hothead. The one that shot out a whole. The one that shot out a whole bunch of little rockets.
Oh yeah. The yeah. Boy, everybody used that in Crucible for the longest time. Yeah, you're talking about the
Wardcliffe coil.
Wardcliffe coil. Yep. I remember that was a mysterious weapon. There was a leak that showed that weapon frame, and we all were trying to figure out what the heck this was going to be before they released it. Of course, eventually. Yeah.
But the tractor cannon. One of the things that I it's kind of a crazy thing, but I wish there was every kind of weapon existed as a heavy version. So I think there should be like a heavy sniper rifle, and there should be like the tractor cannon is a heavy shotgun. So sometimes when I'm doing a build, I'm trying to cover all the different possibilities, and I'll actually put that tractor cannon on to have a shotgun.
Mm.
It's a heavy, and it's very effective. I've killed those, what do you call it? Those really annoying guys with like a scythe.
Talking about the vandals that come up and are invisible and.
Not the vandals, but even worse. Those big tall guys.
You're talking about the Dread. The Dread, right?
Tormentor.
Tormentors,
No,
yes. Yeah.
the Tormentor. I've
Yeah.
actually gone after those with the tractor cannon, and it's worked.
Very cool. Very cool. Subjugators. There you go, Notorious. Yep. Subjugators. Yeah, those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Any more pass weapons? I want to pass it to Kingsley and see what he's thinking as far as his favorite pass weapons. What do you think, Kingsley? Anything come to mind?
Well, when we were talking about this in the chat, I thought it was weapon classes. I don't really have weapons I want to mention, but because I think there's too many good weapons. But a weapon class, funny enough, I don't run much these days. It's just because other things have, I guess, probably outclassed it. But I fusion rifles, because even though a lot of games before Destiny had a lot of the similar weapons, I don't think there was too many that had fusion rifles. So to me, that was new.
Yep.
And I just thought it was so interesting. That was like the original version of almost a trace rifle. I mean, it didn't have the continuous beam, but it was like a lasery type. You had multiple bolts, but it was a very high tech type weapon.
It's very weird energy.
And so that appealed.
Yeah.
That appealed to me. In fact, in some ways, I'm like, we're playing this sci-fi space game. Why are we doing ARs and hand cannons? Like, that didn't really make sense to me.
Hey, you can get rid of hand cannons. I'll be fine with that. You can get rid of hand cannons tomorrow. I'll be perfectly fine.
Well, then you also have to get rid of scouts and ARs.
ARs.
But just going by that logic. But
they are stay. They are stay.
Don't try to be unpractical with me.
Well,
but
yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fusions I've loved, and I think that's an excellent. That's probably my favorite class of weapons, even though I don't use them that much these days.
Well, I'm gonna share my screen here real quick. I'm gonna show you just some blasts from the past here. I'm not gonna hang on it too long here, but I just wanted to just show a few. I was going through last night and I came across these. I'll put it in the Discord too. But the oh my gosh, the inaugural address was so ahead of its time. This weapon is just fantastic. I mean, look how sleek that thing looks. It looks like a royal weapon. It looks like something that a royal brigade would use, you know. Just a beautiful weapon. And it was a it's an adaptive fusion, but the thing I loved about the inaugural address, it literally felt like a space gun because there was no recoil. You didn't feel any bullets firing out of it. It felt like pulses of energy. But do you guys remember this one? The Invective, the shotgun that made its own ammo over time. This was Ikora's weapon of choice. And, man, I really missed it. I don't like shotguns, but this was the one shotgun I brought with me everywhere because it made its own ammo. You never had to worry about, trying to find an ammo brick somewhere to fill it. Speaking of self-generating ammo, what about the Icebreaker, the original Icebreaker? Not the one that they changed in Destiny 2, but I mean, this thing looks like some kind of gun from like an industrial space village or something. I mean, it's so mean looking, man. Whoever designed that gun just really knew how to get the effect across. Another one I came across, Super Good Advice. Remember this shotgun? The only thing I hated about this machine gun, this heavy machine gun, was the fact that the more you shot it and connected with a target, the faster it would fire. The problem is where they really handicapped this weapon is they put too small a magazine in it. If they put a huge magazine in this weapon, if they brought this back and they put a monster magazine in this thing for PvE, oh man, this would never leave my side. Another one I thought of, the Ether Nova. I mean, and I have to admit, this is my favorite raid. I got to thinking about it. This really was my favorite raid. They had so many good weapons in that raid. And the Ether Nova, I don't know what it was about this type of fusion rifle, but this thing felt like a glove, like it was an extension of my arm. And I really missed the Ether Nova. Also, the Tlaloc. This was an exotic scout rifle that the more you shot and got headshots with it, the faster it would fire. You would get this thing firing so fast at one point that you would just melt people in Crucible. I use this in Crucible so much. Speaking of the of raids, where's our Atheon's epilogue? Where's our Raytheon epilogue? The 900 bullet hose rifle. They need to bring this rifle back. If they brought this rifle back in Renegades or somewhere in the future, I'll do whatever I have to get this weapon. I really miss this weapon. It was a little unruly, but once they buffed it a little bit and created a little bit more, where you could use it a little bit easier, it was really nice. Just quickly here, Hopscotch Pilgrim. I don't know how many kills in Crucible I used with this. Just a 390 pulse rifle, just an adaptive pulse rifle. How about the Clever Dragon? This was one of the first Iron Banner weapons that I still miss this weapon because it was like butter. When I shot this thing, I don't know how many kills I have on this one either, but I shot this thing so much. This is all I used in Iron Banner. Also, what else did I have? No, I guess that was it. And of course, the last one was, of course, the inaugural address I already talked about. This is probably the most comfortable pulse rifle I've ever used. So there you go. There's an example of some of my favorite weapons from past Destiny. But I really miss these weapons. I started going through. I was really getting some nostalgia vibes. But now going to the second part of your topic, Bleahy. You wanted to know what kind of weapons you think they should make in the future. And I'll pass that to you. What do you think they should make? What is the type of weapon you think they should come out with for Destiny 2, the future?
Well, the thing I always thought every season, when a season would start and there'd be a new type of weapon, that was a really cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something they hadn't thought of. And maybe they've thought of almost everything else, but since it was my topic, I thought I should come up with something. So what I imagined was something like a grenade launcher, but when you fired it, it would fire a drone. And it would fire the drone, it would go out some distance and then slow down, and it would actually give you a TV picture of what it was seeing. So you could use it to reconnoiter enemy positions or plan an attack. And I just thought that'd be a really cool. And I think that's what's actually happening in real warfare right now. That's exactly the kind of weapon they're using drones like crazy. So I think that'd be a cool addition, something like that.
There's a weapon in Battlefield 4 that I love to use. I think it was on a tank. I think it was something you could upgrade in one of the tanks where you could shoot a guided missile out of the tank, of the barrel of the tank, and literally it immediately went to a camera, and you could fly it around anywhere you wanted, and then just go find a vehicle to hit, and it did so much damage. I miss stuff like that. I think that would be something definitely cool to put in Destiny 2. I think they could pull that off too, to be honest, because other games have already done it. As soon as you fire the weapon, and then it goes into a camera mode, right? And you just start playing, RV or RV. Then you just start playing like you're with a little remote controlled car. It's really cool. Yeah, I like that idea. He told me about that last night. I said definitely want to mention that because that would be such a cool weapon to have in the future. Kingsley, what do you think, man? What would you see as a future weapon going into Destiny 2?
I don't know. I'm never creative with these type of questions. When I hear people's ideas,
I know they're
like,
hard.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool or not. I don't really care, but I'll still answer it because luckily I ran into a weapon recently in Outer Worlds 2 that I really liked what it did.
Okay.
So I'll give this example over here.
All right.
And it was a very specialized weapon. You had to pay a lot for it. It was basically like an exotic. And it's real basic, but it just basically, the more you use it and level it up, it shoots faster and puts out more damage. And ultimately, it'll go on almost forever. I don't think that would work in our Destiny sandbox, unfortunately. But maybe some limited version of that. So it just starts off as like kind of acting like a scout rifle. It shoots kind of slower like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as you keep using it, it eventually got to like almost as fast as an auto rifle. And then each bullet was putting out more DPS also.
Wow.
So it really has two ways it builds, both speed and power. And so pretty magical if you think about it. It could that type of weapon's going to fit a lot better in a single player game than I don't think it could work in Destiny, but I still love the idea.
On that note, because I was thinking similarly to you, And I didn't know you had this weapon in the Outer Worlds, and I'll have to definitely check that one out. Whenever I play looter shooters, I feel like I have a memorable collection of instruments that feel and look good. And I think the future of weapons in Destiny need to be very personalized and craftable. And no, hold on, before I go, we're not talking about the crafting they did in the past. I think that was kind of half-assed the way they did it, to be honest. But can you imagine, as you get more use with the weapon, like you were talking about with your weapon in Outer Worlds too, where the more kills you got with it, you could start adding ornaments to it. You could start putting stickers on it. I know, stickers. I know. We're not going down to Call of Duty.
Not boring to me, but I know you like that.
No, but what I'm saying is what I'm thinking about, like think of some kind of collectible that you could hook onto the gun with every season that you've played. And you can decide, like that could be one of the seasonal rewards that just says, hey, I played the Forsaken. I played the season of the Drifter. Here's the ornament on my gun to remind me about it when I'm aiming it. But think of it like that old Volkswagen van you see on the road. Remember the one in the back that has bumper stickers just coating the back of that car? And then you start to look at it on the road and you start realizing how many places this thing has been. They've got bumper stickers from Iowa. They got bumper stickers from Hawaii. They got bumper stickers or just some kind of stickers, period, all over the back of this van. And you literally have a billboard of everywhere they've ever traveled in this van. That's the kind of way I like to feel my guns to be. I'm bumpers and, bumper stickers, miscellaneous stickers. I mean, that might be a little too tacky.
Can you fit on a gun though?
Well, but you could swap them out. You could with the ones that hook on, you could actually have like a hook on a rail and you can just hook a bunch of them on there. That's the way I really see weapons.
Dangling down to the ground.
I mean, that's the way I see weapons and looter shooters in the future. I think more and more games are going to realize that the more you use the weapon, the more insane the gun looks. And yes, the better it performs and the better it feels. The recoil starts to get better every time you get a plateau of kills on it. It gets even more smooth and even more smooth. Then before you know it, it's like the gun you bring everywhere. And that way, you're investing the time as a player into the game, and you have this artifact that you carry with you all the time. That is your whole history of the game in your weapon, in your hands. That is what I would.
Are you okay? Yeah, with them adding that in PvP.
Absolutely. If I put, Kingsley, if I put the time in on that weapon, and it definitely shines in PvP, everyone else can do it too. But what it does, it rewards you for your time that you played in the game, and it's giving you that little wink. Okay, maybe you could cap. Maybe there was a cap in Crucible, but in PvE, go hog wild. Go hog wild in Crucible. I mean, go hog wild in PvE. I think that's the way guns should feel, and I think that's the way guns should be. You should have some benefits for using a gun, and Battlefield did such a great job of this. And Battlefield 3 comes to mind because I remember I wanted to get this FLIR scope for my AN-92, and believe me, I looked at the new Battlefield 6. They don't have the AN-92. I looked. As soon as they roll that out, that'll be the first gun I go after because that Russian rifle is so damn fun to use. But anyway, you not only would get different camos for as you got more kills with it, but you would get so many different scope attachments, so many different kinds of attachments for the gun to make it feel better. And before you know it, you had it fully tuned in to exactly how you play with that weapon. That's going to be the future of shooters. If they want to keep people invested in these community type games where they're trying to keep, players, they keep their player counts up. That is a secret weapon, man. That is a secret weapon. And it's the reason why I don't like
a lot of games do that. It's just Destiny that doesn't do that with all the mementos and hang on things you can have on the gun.
But, maybe not mementos.
I would say it's the future. It's just Destiny's not doing it.
Maybe okay. Like titles have guilds, right? Gilding, right? You have a number, exponential number above your title. How many times you've gilded that title? Why not have something like that for your gun? Why not have a little up arrow on the attachment or the benefit or whatever the perk is on the gun, and then have a little 8 or 10 or 43 on it, where you're thinking, man, you can inspect someone's gun and look at this and say, this guy is level 43 on his magazine. This is insane. He has 150 bullets in his gun. This is craziness. I'm telling you, just in guns alone, they could tweak all these little things I'm talking about just in the guns. Because why do we play Destiny? Why do we play looter shooters? For the loot. We want the loot. Give us the loot, Bungie. You give us the loot, and then you start giving us rewards for using the loot. And the more we use it, the better the weapon becomes, and the more personalized the weapon becomes. In Battlefield 4, they used to let you put your own emblems. You had an emblem maker in the game. You can make your gator emblem and literally slap a gator head on the side of your gun. And when you're carrying it, you can actually press a button where you can sit here and inspect your gun. So you actually see your gun as you're using it in the game. That's the future of shooters. That's where they're going to get people to invest in their games.
It's already been there, like you said. Yeah. I don't know that Destiny ever will add it since they haven't added that yet. Maybe if they make a Destiny 3 or something. But
hopefully someone at the Bungie Studios hears our podcast. Maybe Willem Scream can spread the word for us. Come on, Willem.
I'm sure the idea has come across their desk at some point. But yeah, I'm just not sure.
Maybe I'm just old school. I know kids, they just want to, the kids today, I mean, their attention spans maybe aren't as long as mine.
I think it's a good idea. I'm not saying that. Fun. I just,
Can you imagine inspecting someone at the tower? Talk about. I don't want a stupid foggy head from playing a Nightfall. That I cleared the Nightfall for the week with a high score.
A lot of people do.
I know that's more visible, but wouldn't it be better if they can inspect your weapon and see how many kills you've got on this weapon? And oh my God, look, he's got Season 58. He's got the Season 58 trinket or emblem on it. That's really cool, man. There were many people playing Season 58. But things like that, I'm just saying, those are ways you can reward your player for spending time in your game. I'll jump off my bandwagon, but that's where I'm at. So, anybody else?
I think you're putting a little too much into guns because it's easier to see a title above someone's head. Oh, I played Season 58 and I got the
titles are important.
It was really hard to get.
Hey, how about
not saying we shouldn't do this to guns too.
How about a title for so many kills on a certain weapon? Yeah. If they bring back the inaugural address and I hit my 10,000th kill with it, I should get an emblem for that to show people I've got 10,000 kills, and it can have a little word that says inaugural address. You can tell what kind of gun that you have that emblem for. And if you have it for multiple guns, then you can swap it out and choose what you want to put on it. Or maybe it'll auto equip. When you put your gun up, when you equip your gun, boom, it goes right on the emblem. I don't know how hard that would be to do, but just some stuff out there that would make people want to invest time into an investable community, investable game like this. Anyway, I'm just throwing darts at the board, but this is something I've always been wanting in Destiny. I don't think we'll ever see it. But
and
maybe Destiny 8.
Don't see Destiny adding that, but hopefully they do.
Yeah. So, Bleahy, you've been real quiet over there. You got anything to say about all this?
Well, there's a number of hobbies in this world. Two of which I can think of is like bicycling, and another one is model railroading.
Oh yeah.
People go to all kinds of events and they get a patch, and they put the patch on a vest, and they have these. See a guy that's got 27. So, I mean, I could imagine an armor piece. So some kind of chest armor that you get.
Yes.
I have a patch that said Titan and Jupiter and different different like in the military they have campaign ribbons. So some version of that where you're on your armor, the places you've been and the things you had done would be displayed. I like that idea.
But like Kingsley reminds me, I'm just one player. I'm one type of several kinds of players, and some people may not care about that stuff. I understand that, I do, but all I can speak for is what I think.
The armor thing is more visual, and people, a lot of games do that, like The Division 2.
Yeah.
There's tons of little trinkets you can have on your backpack, different patches you can have, and things like that. And that is much easier seen when you run up to someone or inspect someone than a gun, in my opinion. But yeah, it can kind of like show you those, like if you were like the top 1% of kills in something, like you'll have a patch for that and you get to put it on. And yeah, a lot of games do that. And I also don't see Destiny doing that because they have a very particular art style on their armor. And I don't think they want extra, what they would consider junk going on it.
Yeah. I wanted to read some comments from the chat here because we had some really good comments. The Doctor 3314 said traditional bullets will always have a place in warfare. He says, I've always liked the zenith of your kind. Only real OGs remember the universal remote. I remember that gun. I never liked it though. I don't like shotguns. The Telelock was one of the 3 class specific weapons. You're right. It was for the warlocks. You're right. And I actually liked the one for Titan too. I can't remember. It was an auto rifle that it just felt good. I know it sucked. It wasn't powerful in Crucible, but I still loved using it. It was so much fun to use. Imagine a grenade launcher of sorts that instead of ammo, it consumed your super bar and shot out ammo bricks. Holy crap. That's a great idea. Being able to personalize your favorite gun would be cool. And Notorious One said, yeah, mementos, some kind of mementos. I mean, they did have mementos, that you could get during seasonal events, right? That you could put on your gun, but you could only put them on, well, it used to be able, you only could put them on craftable guns, but I guess you can put them on the newer guns now, right? I think you can. Mm-hmm. Mementos are a little impersonal. I would love to put my emblem on a gun. Still wear my flex title Wayfarer. I got Wayfarer too. Not many have that one. I know they don't. That's exactly why I'd like to wear it. I mean, here's the thing. Let's just bring this all around to call to arms right now. You know why I'm not going for that dumb helmet? Because I know there's carry service.
You're blaming it on cheaters.
I know there's carry services right now as we're talking that are getting paid by people to get that damn helmet, and they're just running Crucible and just using their cheats to just run over people and then getting the points over time. When I see everybody running around with a helmet, the first thing I'm going to do is look and say, okay, what power are they? All right. Okay. What power are they? Okay. How much experience do they have in Crucible? What's their KD ratio? I'll have to start looking at them to see if it's even worthy. So to me, that helmet with the fiery tail on it, which is a beautiful design, I don't deny that. But when I see everyone running around with them that paid the carry services to go get it for them, that just diluted all the value I had in that helmet. So that's the reason I'm not going to worry about getting it.
There's a lot of people in our Discord that are going to be able to get that. So
yeah. And I know they've earned it.
I think you're putting a little too much into the cheaters. I get it.
I may be a little salty in that area, but you know what I mean. It's just maybe I've watched too many videos about cheaters in Destiny now because they're running rampant.
Look, it's not just you. I've heard it from other people too, but I feel like it's almost like a stage of grief people go through, and they want to blame it on something. I'm not saying there's not cheaters, but people, like, when they can't get something because it's hard, then they start to use excuses like, well, I didn't want it anyways because all the cheaters have it. So
I actually, you know what I did? I actually ran an ultimate solo salt mines. I put the hardest stuff on. I put all the hard stuff on. Now I got a top score of like 2.5 million. I got platinum A, whatever the highest score you can get, and I got 10%. I got in the top 10% of players that played that. And I was like, great. I got my points. I come back the next day. Now I'm in the top 30%. What the hell? What the hell changed? I ran everything on that. Of course, I'm only like 485 light. I mean, I'm just where I'm just able to get into the ultimate level of the solo ops, but still, I mean, like, you're playing against a moving target, and then of course you got to play all the other events to try to get the points to stack up. And it's just too much work for me, man. It's just too much work for me. Mm-hmm. So
that's the real truth, and it's too much work for me too. I don't care. Luckily,
it's a lot of hoops.
If someone does care, that's sad if they really want it.
It's a lot of hoops to jump through. A lot of frustration too. But I mean, I've seen people play more frustrated for a lot less. So, I totally get it. I totally get it. But I'm just saying that I think that's the way Destiny needs to start thinking about loot in the future of Destiny 2. So that's all I had to say. Any final words on the topic, guys? Anything else?
I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
I've never understood why, if you're in a fire team and you're going on some mission, why you can't take one of your guns and loan it to one of your fire team members.
Trading. Yeah.
Because trading, yeah. But it just seems to me that's, I mean, you could have it so that when the event ended, the things would come back.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be abused, so to speak. But it just always seemed kind of a weird thing because, I mean, in real life, you could obviously hand the guy standing next to you your gun and say, try this.
Yeah.
And he could say, well, try this. I always thought of you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The people have mentioned trading in the past. There again, that's going to invite carry services that are going to try to get weapons for people. And I don't know how that would work, but Bungie has a real bad cheater problem right now. It is just disheartening, but I don't know. You don't have enough people working there.
Well, we have
to look
less
over that
players in
stuff.
general, so of course
Yeah.
the cheaters are going to be a bigger
They're gonna-
percentage
they're
now
gonna
that we
stick
have less
out.
players.
Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
stick out. That's for sure.
Um,
Hey, I think that was a great topic. Thank you, Bill, for bringing that tonight. I thought that was a great topic.
Yeah.
We do have some questions from our community, so stick in there, guys. We'll be right back. All right, let me pull up these questions real quick. We had some good questions this week. I want to make sure we got those. All right.
Now we're getting into the trend again where a lot of people were answering questions in the Discord, but they're
No.
supposed to be for us,
They're,
right?
they're for us. They're for us.
You're not going to read all the
Nope.
people that are
Nope. Just going to
answering
ask.
them,
Just
right?
going to ask the question.
Just for sake of time too.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, I know. I see the clock. I see my total stream time here. I know we're getting up there. Okay, here we go. 3, 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final segment of our show. This is where we get our questions from you guys. And I had some questions in our Discord I wanted to make sure that we asked tonight. Mr. Dead Rabbit, there's a chest in the tower right now that basically gives you a daily login bonus. How would you feel about that being a permanent thing? Maybe gives material or 1 or 2 pieces of armor that'll help people level up. What do you guys think about that? You know, the fact you can go get a powerful chest reward at the Call to Arms every day for going to the tower. Do you think he thinks that should? What do you
Sounds
think?
good
About,
to me.
that'd be a permanent thing. What do you think,
I don't
Bleahy?
think I can really see any issues with that as long as it's just like 1, maybe 2 things, and they're not like leveling you up like 30 levels or something. I don't see any issue with that.
Bleahy?
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think whatever helps the new player catch up, the better. Thank you, Mr. Dead Rabbit. Vanilla Gorilla. Okay, we got a deep question here. Hang in there. Destiny 2 isn't just experiencing low player counts. It's facing a collapse so sharp, it's starting to look less like a dip and more like an indictment of Bungie's entire leadership philosophy. At this point, do you think players left because the game declined? Or because Bungie outright refused to listen while doubling down on systems the community has been begging them to fix for years? And more brutality, has Destiny 2 crossed the threshold where the studio's decisions are no longer mistakes but active self-sabotage? What population numbers cratering, PvP on life support, recycled seasonal templates, and a reliance on nostalgia instead of innovation do you think the franchise is genuinely salvageable, or is Bungie simply stretching out the end game of a title that's already functionally dead to everyone except the last few hardcore? I know it's a many-part question.
Oh, yeah, there are 3 questions there.
So we'll go with the first one. Do you think the game has declined because
Or I can set up.
Please.
If you want, I can
Yeah.
lay it out. Okay.
You're my AI.
First question
Okay.
topic. I'm really good at this. Okay. He wants to know at first, do you think players left because the game declined or because Bungie outright refused to listen? My opinion, and I'm curious everyone else's, no, it's because the game declined. Bungie doesn't refuse to listen. It's just they don't really have the ability to do all the things we want or they want to do. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Bleahy, what do you think?
I do think there's a lot of constraints we don't even know about. You know, I don't know what Sony's telling them. I don't know what the
True.
Bungie management. I don't know what the. I mean, I'd love to know more about the code base that they have. I mean, it's 11-year-old code base. I'm sure it's a nightmare. And you got a bunch of new people. Old people have left, and new people are being handed this code base and trying to told to fix things. And they can't do. Obviously, can't do it. The number of bugs is just crazy. So we don't really know what the hell's going on. And maybe Renegades will come out and it'll be a big surprise. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they'll really do some terrific things, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, if Kingsley got his way and we got a Destiny 3, it would probably be on a new engine, and we'd also be ditching all of the old consoles. I think that would definitely open up the game and put it on a fresh slate to integrate stuff maybe quicker or better. I could see why a Destiny 3 would be helpful there. I think it was Joe Blackburn who said once we add stuff, we have to take away from somewhere else. So maybe the engine, whatever, the server engine, whatever they're talking about here, maybe it is maxed to the gilt. Maybe that's why we're getting so many errors in the game now. Maybe there is only so much they can add to the game right now. I don't know. I agree, Bleahy. We don't know what goes on in the background there. But I think Destiny is probably one of the. I played a lot of years of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty never listens to its players. And maybe now they do, but they never did in the past. They gave you the game, and you like it or hate it. It sucks to be you, but that's the game. And you didn't get twabs every week saying, here's what we're working on, or here's what we got planning, here's the stuff we're going to fix. You didn't get any of that in the past days. Destiny does it every week. They communicate with their player base. And as much as they probably don't want to, because the morale's so low, probably in some areas of the studio, I applaud them for it. That's why I thank them every week, even though I forgot to this week. But I think Destiny is one of the few developers that actually listens to their community. We've put stuff out in the past that we think, we've mentioned stuff on this show that we see in game now. So like weapon crafting. I loved weapon crafting. I pushed for weapon crafting. I complained all the time in the 2019 back when we started doing this stuff. And they brought weapon crafting, and I was so happy when they did. And then I guess it just didn't pan out the way they thought it would. I really thought it would. But anyway, I think they do listen. What was the second part of the question, Kingsley?
Okay, the next part was, do you think they crossed a threshold where their decisions are no longer mistakes, but active self-sabotage? This was an interesting one because that can have different connotations or definitions of what self-sabotage is. I mean, this one I can answer both ways personally, because if leadership is cutting staff, that's self-sabotage in a way.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer this so much, but I'll pass to you guys. That's all I really have to say about that. And then we'll go to the last question once you guys have a comment on this.
What do you think, Bleahy?
When I look at Edge of Fate and what they did, and Kepler and the Matter Spark and all the different things they came up, I have to feel in my heart that those guys are sitting there working on this stuff and thinking the players are going to love this stuff. They're going to think this is going to be dazzling. And yet when it came out, people are like, Matter Spark, that's annoying. Matter Morph, that's annoying. I don't think it got the reception they were expecting. And to me, it looked like they tried. If you don't like it, they're leave. I can't see people sitting there self-sabotaging. I think they're trying, but they maybe have, like I said before, a lot of constraints we just don't understand.
I don't know, man. I really don't know on this one. I honestly don't think people want to lose their jobs. I really don't. I don't think they're self-sabotage. I think they're just working with what they have. I think there's a lot of members of the Destiny, the developer studio right now, that were never there in the early days. And I think a lot of the people that have been there since the beginning might have gotten axed that first round of layoffs, because they're probably the ones that get paid the most, and capital is capital investment. So I don't think so. I think they really want to do well for the game. They want to make the game fun for everyone to play. They want to hear good things about it, but I don't know. I don't think they're self-sabotaging now. I really don't.
Yeah, and that's why I say it again, but the definition of self-sabotage can mean so many things.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think either the low-level programmers and everyone in the studio are self-sabotaging, but
Right.
you could still use that definition with leadership, potentially. But anyways, and then the last question is, do you think the franchise is genuinely salvageable, or is Bungie stretching out the end game of a title that's functionally dead to everyone except for the last hardcore few? I actually, sorry to say, and this isn't trying to be negative, I don't think it's salvageable. That's why I think we need a Destiny 3. We need a reset or some other new type of game. It's going to be stretched out. I don't think it's dying tomorrow or next year or anything like that, but I just don't see it getting, maybe we'll have small bumps here and there, but overall, it's never going to go back up to where it was and the excitement that we've had. That's just my opinion. And I really think they should consider doing something different. I'm sure Todd agrees or thinks differently.
Well, you'd be surprised. I want to let Bleahy answer first.
Oh yeah, Bleahy, go for it first.
I don't know how much money Destiny is making right now, but to just turn off the game tomorrow, you wouldn't be making that money anymore. There's an income stream,
Mm.
and there's a, when you look at the various management philosophies, you look at your different businesses, and you got rising stars and you got cash cows, and I mean, I was really surprised to find that Destiny 1 was still running. That just amazed me that they still support
Yeah.
that. Maybe not,
Yeah.
super.
Yeah, and do you remember? I've explained that really well to people that don't understand. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
my
I
answer,
did.
but maybe I should say it real quick to people that are listening that don't understand, because people assume supporting Destiny 1 costs money, and it virtually costs no money because they can virtualize. They're not putting any development into patches on the game anymore. They haven't basically since Destiny 2 came out. And all Destiny 1 needs to run is a server on that says, yes, you are allowed to run.
Yeah.
So they can virtualize that with the Destiny 2 servers they already have. So basically there's like no time investment needed to keep Destiny 1 running.
Mm. Yeah.
But do they make money from Destiny 1?
No, because
Oh.
it's not sold anymore.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
So they don't make any money, but it doesn't cost anything either, to keep it going. So
I think I actually agree with you, Kingsley. I think the game is at its end life, mainly because the engine can't handle anymore. At least is what it appears to be now. There's been comments by upper management saying that when they take away stuff, when they add stuff, they have to take it away somewhere. And I think we've seen videos how some of the detail in the game has gone away a little bit, just slightly, but to the person who knows what they're looking at, you can see there's definitely a difference in some of the details of the game. So they're cutting corners somewhere programmatically. I think what they should do is they should have a team that they leave behind that continues with the seasonal events while they reset their studio to make the next Destiny.
I said that 2 years ago.
I know. I really think I'm a believer now. I'm a believer now because I think I'm starting to see that I didn't want to buy the idea that this was going to be more of a limited release this year. I didn't buy that. I thought, it was still going to be very substantive. And I think I'm starting to see it now where it could possibly be that just the engine can't handle anymore. It can't. I mean, they're giving us 300 slots, so what's that going to cost us down the road? I'm trying to figure out when Renegades comes out. I don't know if I'm going to play it day one because it's going to be loaded with bugs. There hasn't been a release in a long time that hasn't released with just massive bugs, game breaking stuff. Even people who can't even. I got kicked out. Remember on Final Shape. I played in the morning early, but then once people all joined in at 5:00, there was a programming error that booted everybody out. Wouldn't allow people to even join and play the game. So I'm a lot more careful
well, that's
now.
the thing. It's more likely to get kicked off in the evening than during the day.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy hopping in when it first comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I may still do that, but God, it just seems like there's more bugs than ever now. I don't know if that's because Sony shredded the quality control team when they did layoffs this last time around, because I know the quality control was one of them. The play testers are a lot that they let go, which I don't understand.
I mean,
I don't understand because those are your lower paid employees. Those are the ones that don't make six figures a year.
No, I've seen this in other businesses too. Even though some of them can make a lot of money, but you're right, they're generally lower paid employees, but it's still an area, if companies have to make cuts, it's an area that will come first because
they can wing
it's
it.
not necessarily required to create a game.
Right.
And so it makes sense why they did that. I don't like it, and it's causing these problems, but at least I guess they're coming out with something that works 70% of the time. And then the things that don't work, we just have to wait for them to fix because they weren't able to test
I have
enough.
I have a comment on that. When the technology was developed to allow companies to ship product that didn't work, knowing they could patch it in the field at little or no cost, the world began to go to hell. It used to be you had to really try to make things work because if you had to patch them in the field and issue new floppy disks or whatever, it was enormously expensive. But now you can just say, yeah, it's not quite ready, but we got to make this date, ship it, and we'll patch it later. That just turned, I thought that was a terrible day for quality control.
Yeah. People don't have to follow that. I like the idea of having live patches in case the game was already in a good state and then they want to just make little changes. But you're right, it's very tempting to then get into that thought where like knowing that it can be fixed later.
Well, look
I
at the
think
software. Look what it looks like. Look what we get. And we get, like you
Mhm.
say, every week when you go through the TWAB and you point out that they aren't even listing all the things that are wrong. And
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
that's just kind of like yeah, that is very interesting, but it goes that idea goes along with some other comments of like I'll get to GTA 6 in a second, but like even with Destiny, like I think it would have been better to at the end of Final Shape say like, okay, even if they don't make a Destiny 3, say, okay, the game's still going. We're gonna have some live events, but basically we can't come out with more stuff in a yearly cadence. So give us a year and a half, give us 2 years. We'll come out with our next release then. In the meantime, we're working also on a Destiny Online or Destiny 3. Give us all this cool news,
Yeah.
but push things down the road. Now, GTA 6 is pushed down the road so many times, people see it as a good or a bad thing, but I actually think there's a greater than 50% chance that now when we finally get GTA 6 next November, if it doesn't get pushed back once more, I think it will probably be in a pretty good state. If it's not, we'll have a riot on our hands because they're like, why did it keep getting pushed back like 4 times? But maybe they're doing this right,
Hmm.
Bill. Maybe they're actually going to come out with a pretty good game on day one.
Time will tell. That's for sure.
Yep.
Good question. Thank you, Vanilla Grilla. It was a good question.
Yeah, it was a long one, but I liked it.
No, it was very good. It's well thought out. I like questions like that. Let's go with some non-Destiny questions before we head out tonight. Just a little bit lighter, tongue-in-cheek here. Zombie Pops, it's getting to be that time of year again. What is the general consensus on eggnog? Alcoholic or non? Some people love it. Others hate it. Personally, I love a nice tall glass of it. Bleahy, are you an eggnog guy?
No, I mean, I like it. It's if you're at a holiday party, there's a little mug of eggnog, it's okay, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't drink it all the time.
How about you, Kingsley? And are you alcoholic or non-alcoholic
Yeah.
on it?
Did you want to answer that first, Bleahy?
Would you slap a little alcohol in
I'm
it?
not alcoholic or alcoholic on that.
Oh yeah,
Okay. What do you think,
I don't
Kingsley?
think I've ever had it. I don't think I've ever had it without alcohol after I,
Really?
you know,
Okay.
go-
Okay. Sorry.
I definitely see. Funny enough, and I didn't start drinking until later in life, but I've never had eggnog alcoholic yet, so I do want to try that sometime. I'm kind of like you though. I could take it or leave it. I think it's a little too sweet for me in most cases, and also whenever I have it, I don't like egg, so I don't do the real eggnog. I like the soy eggnog. I know that maybe it's blasphemous to some people, but regardless, whatever version it is, I think it's very sweet. So I need to try it alcoholic because it's just not normally a drink for me.
Oh man, I almost bought some at the grocery store this weekend, and I got the look from my wife. So I was like, okay, I guess it's too early to buy the eggnog. Plus, it's $7.99 for half a gallon. I'm like, oh man, where's those low prices? I'm looking for them low prices. I always buy it every year. I usually buy a half gallon of it. I buy the local Publix. It's our local supermarket here in Central Florida, and they make the best house brand low fat. I get the low fat because the full fat just is way too heavy. But it's very thick. I don't put any alcohol with it. Don't need to. But the hardest
How
part,
sweet is it?
it's very sweet. It's very rich, very sweet. The hardest part for me is I drink too much of it. So I literally will get a small like bourbon glass and fill it up to halfway, and then I'll put it back in the fridge. So eggnog is something you want to get the taste of it. It's not something you drink a lot of it because you will get sick very quickly if you drink too much eggnog. That is for sure. At least for me, I do. So my little tummy can't handle it. So,
So
yep.
tell me, people, what's the alcoholic version? You could probably mix anything, but
I'd
is it
say
like
rum.
just people putting vodka or something?
Maybe
Or
rum in
what
it,
are they?
or
No, I think it's
Rum?
whiskey.
whiskey.
I
Okay.
think, yeah.
And I'm sure you could vary it somewhat, but I'm just asking, maybe I'll buy some non-alcoholic, because you can't really get much alcoholic stuff in Utah
Yeah.
at the stores. And then I'll add some whiskey to it or something and give it
Yeah.
a try.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Zombie Pops. One more question. This is from Tanker Callan. I was thinking about changing my Xbox gamer tag. Right now, it's meme toxic, but I feel that now I'm not a teenager. It sounds toxic. My question is, how do you make a good gamer tag? Oh, we got 3 veterans here of gamer tags. What makes a good gamer tag, guys?
Well, first of all, I love how he's being very
He is.
introspective about meme toxic.
Yes.
See, this is a thing that younger people try to get away with. They're like, it's just a meme. I didn't mean it to be toxic. You know what I mean? But like, people, just because you didn't mean it that way doesn't mean it's still not a bad thing to, anyways. And I'm not saying that for you, but I mean, I'm kind of like Bill, like my gamer tag was just the boring stuff. It was MC Kingsley. Those were my initials, Michael Christopher Kingsley. Now it's Kingsley Mac. I made it a little more interesting because of my business, but I don't come up with creative ideas myself. I just kind of do that.
And Bill, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I think I'm the worst person.
I know. I thought it would be rude if I didn't ask, so I wanted to make sure you had some input there. We know why you put your gamer tag together. I'm very much into gamer tags. Gamer tag is your online presence. It's for me, it means a lot. It's your brand. It's how people see you. Gamer tags to me have to be symbolic, and at the same time, when I put a gamer tag together, I wanted to kind of show people who I am in a gamer tag. And that's why I like Todd the Gator, because I am a Gen Xer, which means there's a lot of Todds out there that are from the Gen X generation. And the Gator being that I love Florida Gators, even though they're really, really struggling this year. But I'm not a fair weather fan when it comes to the Gators. My dad was going to school there when I was born. So I have and of course I went to school there too. So I have very much a deep meaning and deep respect for that school. And, it means a lot to me to be able to share that in a gamer tag. I mean, it's funny. I'll meet people in real life and I don't know their name. All I know is their gamer tag. And it feels really awkward when you tell your wife that you're meeting Warcry. My wife goes, Warcry? What the hell's a Warcry? I said, oh, well, no, I meant Jeff. But yeah, I mean, these are the people you see every day online. And for me, that's my opinion. For me, it needs to have some meaning. And that's why I asked that question of all our guests, because I always want to know, what was your thought process putting your online identity together, pretty much. So like Willem Scream. I mean, that is very insightful. The fact that he's an editor and everybody knows what a Willem Scream is. That's an editor's wink to each other. And that's a great name. That's one of my favorite gamer tags, I think. There's some out there that we talked to a lot of guests over the years, and there's some out there that really blew me away. So, and then some of them are just say, hey, it's just my name. And that's fine too. Everyone
I do think it's good if you can put your name in it somehow as part of it. And then have something else, like you have Todd the Gator. I have Kingsley Mac. Now I understand some people, for privacy reasons, don't want to have any part of any of their name in it. I get that. But if you can, I think that is the best long-term solution, because if you ever do meet them in person, now I know that's pretty rare, but like, you already have Todd there, so we know Todd's your name. And if you can use it in other things, and it really does identify you both as a name and an identity. And the reason why I went with Kingsley Mac is because I ran a Mac consulting business.
That makes perfect sense.
So, so that's actually an email that I have too. One of my domains is kingsleymac.com. So,
I always think of the DJ when I say your name.
Before it was meant to be MC Kingsley, but everyone thought it was McKingsley,
right? Because
MC together, like
I liked it,
Irish or something. But
I liked MC Kingsley.
No,
I still like that
MC,
too. But okay, to answer Tanker Callan's question, how do you make a good? Well, first, Tanker, I would think of something like my first ever gamer tag was Florida 39, which that's boring as hell, and it says very little. It's unimaginative. Think of a word or phrase that you could word it a certain way, but at the same time expresses who you are. My very first gamer tag that I actually really thought hard on was Instigator. INSTI-GATR. I could have put Instigator like the way it's spelled, but no, I wanted it different. I wanted it to sound a little different. And maybe I'm not the best person to ask because I'm Gen X. I'm not Gen Z. But for me, Instigator meant my wife loved it because I'm a drama queen at home and I'm always instigating stuff. I'm always not letting stuff go. I always try to stir the shit, so to speak. So it kind of had a double meaning for me. And that's why I kind of liked that gamer tag for a while. But when everyone just kept calling me Gator, for the longest time, it was G_A_T_R. Gator was like that acronym. And I remember I was subbing to a streamer. I think it was Dr. Disrespect. And he says, "Thanks for subbing, guitar." I'm like, oh, I got to change this. This is not right. It can't be that. So anyway, that's why I put Todd the Gator. And I have another YouTube channel called Todd the Exterminator about my business. So it's kind of like a brand now. It's kind of like something I throw out there. It's like a brand. So anyway, I hope that helps, Tanker.
I wanted to add one other thing. Yep. It's very important what you were saying about, you wanted Instigator, but then everyone's calling you Gator. This is another important thing, Tanker. If you want to come up with a name, and if you like the first part, don't make the second part easier or more appealing to people, because they will always call you by the easiest part.
Yep.
So if something's really important to you, make sure that part is not something that they're going to cut out. So like Instigator, it makes sense. People are going to say Gator for short. And it's okay if people do that if you don't care. But like Kingsley Mac, the reason why most people don't say Mac is because it's just too generic, even though it's shorter. Kingsley is still easy enough to say, and it's my name and everything. So usually people just say Kingsley. I don't care or even want them to say Kingsley Mac because that's too much.
Yep.
But if the first part's very important to you, make sure to not make the second part easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've got a perfect example of that.
Okay.
The guy that invented the bus was named George Omni. And so he named the invention the omnibus.
The omnibus, yep.
Oh.
Everybody's forgot the omnibus. They call it the bus.
No one calls it an omnibus anymore.
Nope. That's good. Yep. Good fun fact there. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everybody who put a question in this week. If we didn't get to your question, we'll get to it next week. No worries. But if you do want to leave us a question, by the way, just go to podcast questions in our Discord community, or you can send us a voicemail. It's guardiandowncast.com. There's a little tab on the right that says send us a voicemail. You can send us a voicemail that we'll play live on our shows, as long as they're respectful. But yeah, those are two ways you can send it. And of course, you can do it the old way too. You can send us an email. I don't look at emails a whole lot, but I do catch them every now and then. But voicemails and just writing a question in our Discord community is the best way to get a question to our show. So think of that next time you have a question and think of something in your car and like, oh, I'd love to ask what they think about that. Go to the Discord, put it in our podcast question channel, and you're good to go. All right. Mr. Fudd, you're next, sir.
Listen to the Guardian Towncast. Oh, it's a playlist. Yes. Oh, and I've heard they've won awards for it and such.
Well, that means it's the last part of our show before we go tonight. That's where we add music to our Guardian Downcast show playlist. It's a little kind of a time capsule, if you will, of all the guests we've had on in the past. And they bring a song that they want to add to our playlist. So I'll start with you, Mr. Bleahy. What song are you adding, and why did you add it, sir?
Well, I'm sort of addicted to those little reels on YouTube and Facebook. And I found one night. It was this gal dancing to this very kind of, I thought it was a very catchy tune. And then I realized after I was watching it for a while that it was actually AI. It was not a real person. It was just generated by a computer. And I started investigating, and I found out this one song, which is by a group called Silent Circle, "Touch in the Night." I think it's a very catchy tune, but it's been used by lots and lots of people to make little dance videos. It's very compelling, and I kind of enjoyed it. So
It is addictive. I listened to it last night. And it has a very much an 80s vibe. I love it. I love the song. And even though it's AI, man, it really sounds good. It's a cool song. I'm adding some music tonight as well. This is a song I chose from a long-running American band that formed in Chicago in '72. I know that makes me old, but this band continues to produce new music today. They just released a new album called "Circling from Above." The band has adapted its sound over the past 5 decades, and they're very relevant today. They have a lot of followers, millions of followers on Spotify. I'm actually going to see them in concert here in February. I got VIP tickets, second row, for my wife and I. We celebrate 33 years next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. That's when we got married, if you can believe it or not. The 28th. We celebrate our 33rd anniversary, and I'm going to surprise her with these tickets because we're both kids of the 80s, and I love me some Tommy Shaw, and I'm going to see him about 25 feet away. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But the song, anyway, I'm adding is an homage, actually, to the next DLC, and the song is Renegade from 1978, and this is the Pieces of 8 album. It's probably one of the most iconic songs from them, and Tommy Shaw still jams his guitar on it to this day. That's probably one of my top 3 guitar solos of all time from my rock classic bands out there. So, all right, guys, that's it. That is our show tonight. Thank you, everybody who came out to Twitch and our YouTube and also in our Discord. We had a great turnout tonight. I think everyone was really curious about Mr. Bleahy here. So thank you, Bill, for coming on the show tonight. This was a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to this tonight. So we appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
I had a ball. It was just terrific.
Thank you.
Really terrific.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it just shows the breadth of our community, how many different types and ages of people that are in our community. And it really warms my heart to see how many different kinds of people love Destiny, the game, and how many people join our Discord. So it is so awesome. So we thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and I'll see you guys in the Discord later, Guardians.
Have a good one.